You may need goggles for this one. Big Sils on a football Monday. And boy, is this going to get a little edgy. You know, we don't want to be right in some situations. But we do want to point things out to folks that we've been saying the entire offseason. And we're going to get to that here in a minute. Kyle starts the program off. Super chats go to the top. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like button. First 15 minutes will tell us a lot. And hit that like button. By the way, it's confirmed tomorrow, 3:30. Doug Peterson will be on this program, and we will talk with the former world champion, Philadelphia Eagle head football coach. 3:30, we will talk to Doug Peterson today. At 3:30, we will have Angelo Cataldi, WIP legend. As promised, if they lost, he would be on, and he's on at 3:30. Gary Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia will be on at 4:30. And Big Z will be the closer, the Mariano Rivera of the show. That will happen at 5 o'clock. By the way, Howard Eskin tomorrow as well. Howard will join us at 4:30 tomorrow. So big first couple days here on the program. Howard Eskin and Doug Peterson tomorrow. Today, Angelo, Gary Cobb. Of course, Xander will be with us as always. We love his commentary. Everyone is missing the key terrible play calling. We're going to get to that here in a minute. Lot was shown yesterday with this horrific loss by the Philadelphia Eagles to the Denver Broncos, 21-17. This was a brutal loss to a football team. If you told me Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, Broncos, I would have said the given would have been the Broncos. The given would have been the Broncos. I'm going to give you guys some of the instant takeaways from that game. Your second half adjustments in the game were pathetic. I mean, your route concepts are awful and simplistic. I mean, help me out here. You had a lead on a football team that you were dominating in the first half. Why'd you stop running the ball? Give me one formula on why you think they stopped running the ball. Get this. Here, you get this. Anybody who said quality loss, I'll show you a fucking waiter. M. Reyes is a waiter. Losses are losses. Quality loss, what a weirdo way of surrendering something that you had no right surrendering. A quality loss is for losers. Who in the world talks like that? A quality loss. Holy shit. You talk about using excuses for losing. M. Reyes is the poster child of it. He is the poster child of excuses for that shitty loss you had in the game. I mean, your second half adjustments were pathetic. Your route concepts, hey, there has to be more than a go route. I mean, don't there have to be more than a go route? Any underneaths? Everything's a fucking go route. Where's your concept? I mean, Sean Payton schooled Vic Fangio yesterday. Kevin Petula was schooled by Vance Joseph yesterday. You were so fucking outcoached by a decent team. Denver's a good team. That's not a great team. That team's not going to make noise in the AFC playoffs. Bobo Petula at it again, doesn't know how to play with a lead. 6 carries for Saquon Barkley. That's cowgirl talk. Quality loss, my ass. Amen. What a fucking loser. I mean, you know why are in close games? You got the play calling genius of Kevin Kotai, wide receivers complaining, banged up O-line, quarterback that can't read. If the Eagles don't want to develop Hurts, I don't get why they won't at least go back to the RPO. Dez, that's a spectacular take. Hit the like button, guys. I appreciate it. Let me give you a little bit of Big Sils' takeaways, even more so now. We'll get to the numbers here in a minute. I mean, why did you stop? Hey, for the record, I blame Kevin Petula and Nick Sirianni. Dude, the running game has exposed your passing game and your offense. Saquon Barkley not being able to run exposes the limitations your quarterback has always had. The reason that you have to make the offense simple. Why? Hurts takes sacks. How many times do I have to tell you he can't handle pressure? Jalen Hurts cannot handle pressure. 6 sacks in the game, all minus yardage. You know, Sils, 2 of them. 6 sacks in the game. That's right. Just throw the damn thing away. I saw Baker Mayfield go up to Seattle with a makeshift offensive line and pull a victory away with a team that ran the ball for 46 yards versus the Seattle Seahawks. No Mike Evans. No Bucky Irvin. He goes up there and fucking wins the game. Formula to win, don't turn it over. Throw it short, run the ball, keep it on. 3rd and short, that's the Eagles offense. Boring as hell? This is not the same team as a year ago. Finally, people are hearing me. You were nowhere near the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles. You don't even resemble that team. By the way, Milton Williams is kicking the shit out of people in New England. You got rid of a 26-year-old D tackle who might be the all-pro D tackle in the AFC this year. He's fucking playing his ass off. They go into Buffalo and upset Buffalo. By the way, hey, Xander, you remember this one, right? One of Big Sils' bold predictions. Patriots are making the playoffs. Patriots are making the playoffs. Remember we said that? How you doing? Patriots are making the playoffs. Hurts can't read the defense. He explained the only second-half TD to Saquon after he saw what the defense was in. He switched the play to get the linebacker. Jalen Hurts struggles at reading defenses. That's why the offense is simplified on go routes. Don't get your panties in a bind there, Prince. He doesn't run complex offenses. It's been that way since Alabama. He does not have. Jalen Hurts is more of a schoolyard football player, and you win a lot of games that way. When he's off script and he has to ad-lib. Don't get your panties in a bind because you won a lot of football with that style of play. Let me show you something else that came out of this thing. Alabama did know he cannot run a complex offense. And on top of that, he cannot run a balanced offense. And the coaches know this. This is why the offense is simplified. They can't run balance. It's impossible. How many passes? Hey, Kyle, do me a favor. How many passes yesterday did Spencer Rattler throw in that New Orleans game? How many passes did he throw? All you need to know It's how Kellen Moore tailored the offense last year around the run game and not the quarterback. We're going to get to AJ in a minute. Yes or no? Did AJ give up on us? He needs to shush. Leon, I think AJ plays when he feels like it. Both guys don't trust one another. AJ Brown does not trust Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts does not trust AJ. He's not quitting. He doesn't respect the quarterback's arm and the way he sees the game. And Jalen doesn't respect the way AJ goes about conducting himself. They don't trust one another. Watch them play together. Watch AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts play together. It's simple. They don't enjoy playing with one another. They don't trust each other. It's simple. Why do you think you're seeing Hurts go more to Goddard, Dotson, Barkley, and Devontae and getting away from AJ? He doesn't trust them. And vice versa. You got a problem between those two. They don't respect one another's game right now. It's not about liking each other. They don't respect each other's game. I'd rather have you hate each other and respect each other's game than the way they're going about their business now. Where did it go wrong, Leon says? Leon, where do you think it went wrong? The addition of Saquon Barkley. The issues on offense are going to burn out the defense by midseason. Correct. By the way, Kevin Patullo is not qualified to be the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles with a Super Bowl contending team. He's a qualified coordinator with the Jets. A qualified coordinator with the defending Super Bowl MVP? He is not. He's not qualified. But that being said, he's only taking marching orders, same way Kellen Moore did last year with the marching orders. Okay, same thing with the what Kellen had to do. They wanted to run the ball. This falls at Nick's feet. Let me ask you something. When the route concepts don't change for 3 years, and you're not doing anything in the second half on adjustments like that, and you're running the same concepts, this is on Nick. This is on Nick. This falls at the feet of the head coach. Kellen Patullo, doesn't really matter. Kellen Moore, Kevin Patullo, they're taking marching orders from Nick. This is how we're going to run the game. And then, who in their right mind would have ever listened to the outside noise? Get this, Xander wanted to see this, so did everybody else. So they listened. I was like, they're never going to change. They fucking changed and lost. The issues on offense are going to burn out the defense by midseason. Yes. AJ Jalen and the PR department is ruining this football team. I know the defense struggled in the fourth, but too many 3-and-outs hurt the defense. Yes. And the inability to be able to want to run the ball. How about this? It's not that you couldn't. Okay? It's not that you couldn't. You just stopped. How do you stop? The story of the game is, explain it to me. How the fuck do you stop running the ball with the lead with the team you dominated in the first half? By throwing it? 3-and-outs? Denver stole possessions doing that. Oh, and for the record, you guys thought, hey, let me ask you this. How do you think your guys did, Mulata and Lane, versus the Broncos edge rushers in that game Sunday? How do you think? How do you think they did? Not only is Nick and Pedumbo fault, but With this broken down O-line, Jalen's limitations is showing, and it's getting worse. Look at the trend on sacks. Lane got smoked. The advantage you thought you had at your two tackles, you got your asses kicked. Denver beat the fuck out of you at the place I never thought was possible. This wasn't just Landon. Pallotta and Lane got beat up. They got beat up. They were beaten. They were taken to the woodshed, especially in the fourth. Holy shit. You got worked. Worked at the offensive tackle positions. Sils, what are the Eagles scared of? I don't know what happened. How did you adjust so poorly? Okay? This is the worst take of the entire morning. Not that one. About the refs? Shut the fuck up. You got your asses kicked. They called more penalties on Denver than they did on the Eagles in that game. Oh my God. Just sell the team, Sils. Do you understand the Denver game is a result of the shitty play? Your 4-0 record is fraudulent. Here, let me put it to you this way. What was it? Week 5? The Philadelphia Eagles found their identity, right? A year ago in week 5. You think they're going to find their offense and their identity this week versus the New York Giants? This is going to be a week-to-week decision on how you're going to go about your business. Kellen Moore was running Nick's offense when he was here. Really. Think about this. I know your IQ isn't the highest. I knew you would miss that he's running his offense now. This is the fucking dumbest take on the planet. This is so fucking stupid. Not running Nick's offense a year ago. You spent $51 million on 2 wide receivers, $50 million on a quarterback, $15 million on a tight end, and here running Nick's fucking offense. What a pathetic take this is. Barkley changed the identity of the team a year ago because of the O-line's ability to run. You're not running Nick's offense. What? Nick is a passing coordinator. He was a wide receiver coach, not a run coordinator, douchebag. Where did you think he developed some sort of run attack? That morphed into it a year ago. Okay? Kellen Moore is running Nick's offense when he was here. Kellen Moore had to go and adjust it to Barkley. They want to throw the ball, dude. Look at the payrolls. Okay? Get this. I said the philosophy after Barkley in week 5. If you listen to what I said, Nick's offense was in the first 4 weeks. They went into the bye week going, we have to run the ball. They changed philosophy because of Barkley. That wasn't Nick's fucking offense after week 4. They reinvented themselves running the ball. And this year, they stuck with the premise. That's why they elevated Patullo. Very simple. They started the season out running that offense and passing game that you see right now. They knew it wasn't working. They went into the bye, then they changed philosophy. Did they not? That's what happened. Oh, when and where fucking ever Nick Sirianni run the ball as a coordinator? Help me out. He was the coordinator with Phillip Rivers. Absolutely insane. Anyway, back to normal programming instead of buffoonery. Let me get this straight. The team is barely winning. Incompetent coaching. I don't know their identity. Why does this sound familiar to 23 again? Absolutely true. So a year ago, you guys went into the bye and you recreated your identity by going to being a running team. Kellen Moore's never been a running coordinator in his entire coaching career. And nor, for that matter, has Nick Sirianni ever been in his entire career. When he was in San Diego, when he was in Indianapolis, when he was in Kansas City. He's never been part of a running organization. Never. They've thrown the ball. It's why you're paying $51 million. Get this. If you're a running organization, why are you paying $51 million to wide receivers? He's never been an RPO coach. The RPO coach, by the way, let's be candid. That offense that you had in 22 was not Nick Sirianni's. It was Shane Steichen's. Another fucking L for Prince. That wasn't Nick's. It was Shane's. Shane put that offense in. Shane's running that same offense in Indianapolis. And that's why Daniel Jones is benefiting. Anyway, Kellen Moore's not qualified to be your offensive coordinator. But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Actually, this year's exposed Sirianni as a play caller. No run game. The inability to be able to adjust in-game. The inability to be able to be balanced. You think Nick Sirianni's a good offensive mind? I don't. Show me where. The quarterback is getting worse. How many people in here believe the quarterback's getting worse as a passer? Just curious. How many people believe that Jalen Hurts is getting worse as a passer? What do you take? 6 sacks? Hey, you could disagree or agree, but his mechanics are off. Okay? Get this here. What did I just see? Well, there's going to be a few homers in here. Get this. Fake news. Biggest passing day yesterday. Doofus. Did that look like a good passing game to you yesterday? With go routes? No underneaths? Dude. A.J. Brown got destroyed by fucking Patrick Surtain. I don't know what you're talking about. He shut his ass down. Sils, I will say Reich was the one that recommended Sirianni to Lurie. Yes. First half was pretty good. Let's take a look at that for a second. Okay, it was. Jalen had about 140, 30 yards, somewhere in there. AJ had about 40. Devontae had some too, right? It was about 50, 60. And Barkley was like at around 35. There was some balance. And I was like, okay. At least they're trying to spread it around. They had a lead. They were winning. I don't know what happened in the second half. They were not able to adjust. I believe Tanner is the key to all our answers. I denounce Hurts as my QB1. Says the big pump. Eagles will always have critics unless they play a game like the Super Bowl each week. Yeah, but don't you want to strive to fulfill the offense's greatness with all the talent you have? This is the second week in a row after halftime. The offense looked like shit. The adjustments aren't there. Yeah, because teams are catching up with what you're doing. No jet sweeps, RPOs, no back shoulder throws. The offense doesn't have any creativity because the quarterback is limited. The quarterback is limited in ability in the pocket. He's limited. I agree with this. I'll tell you this, though. Jalen Hurts and the offensive players on that team are not on the same page. Why? What did I say last week? Every conversation I had with Xander or anyone else, the company man, those players aren't following the company man. The company man answers like Nick. He wasn't getting the back. I think those guys were telling you, Barkley, AJ, and Devontae, I got to get my guy AJ's back. Barkley, I got to get my guy AJ's back. I didn't hear anybody say, I got to help my quarterback out. I didn't hear anybody say that. I really don't think those players on that offense like what's going on with Hurts and management. I don't. The inability to be able to adjust is pathetic. Sils, the simple shit only works if you can impose your will in the run game. Absolutely. That is a great take, Curtis. Yes, sir. You can, the simplistic stuff works. The predictable shit works when you're dominating at the point of attack. That is exactly true. You're not dominating. You got dominated on both sides of the ball on Sunday. And get this, Denver didn't do anything special. They beat you up front on both sides of the football. And they crawled back into a game. And a coach had some balls to go for two. He knew when he went for two, you weren't winning. He knew it. That's why there was no indecision. No indecision with Sean Payton. Sean Payton schooled Vic Fangio yesterday. That was in. Hey, I'm going to give Vic his love here and not go crazy on him. But Sean Payton took that dude to the woodshed. Okay? I mean, he took him to the woodshed. That second, Quinyon Mitchell got schooled. That was his worst game as a player. Not awful in the first. Second half was terrible. Dude, I don't know. And I didn't think much of Cortland Sutton. Holy shit, that guy is a hidden gem. I didn't realize he was that good. That fucking guy was not going to be taken down. I didn't realize he was that big. Man, he was a force out there. Man, he's a really good football player. Mitchell did get outplayed in the fourth. I think the numbers came back in the fourth, 160 yards, 18 points, and the Eagles put up 22 points in the fourth quarter. Here's why I say this, and I'll show Brian why. I don't know, 3 quarters Peyton had his ass handed to him. We had one bad quarter that ruined the game. No, what kept going on was they were not going to get away from running the ball. They were not going to get away from their game plan. They were going to start adjusting. It's not about winning quarters. It's about winning the fight. They knew in the end they would catch them because they were wearing them down, and they wore them down. Okay? They wore them down. By the fourth quarter, you couldn't stop water. Are you sure our quarterback is limited, or is our OC and head coach limited? Okay, that's a great take. Adino, is that how you say it? Okay. Ask yourself this. Do you remember last week I asked you this question? I think Xander even said he doesn't believe it. But I'll ask you guys again. Do you think the head coach trusts Jalen Hurts? Everybody in here said, what do you mean? He doesn't trust him. Hurts doesn't trust him. Hurts doesn't trust the OC. I mean, it's either that or the quarterback's limited. Pick one. Trust how, Sils? Okay, good follow-up. Something your Philly media refuses to do. Okay? Flip-flop on what? On what? On what? Help me here. What did we flip-flop on now? What did we now flip-flop on now? I'm curious. I know. What? Okay, what? On what? On what? If you don't answer, I'll never go to you again. Bro, I don't give a shit if you win or lose. I don't give a shit if you win or lose. I could care less. One day it's about winning. Well, today wasn't about winning because you changed what you did to win. You started to throw the ball. They flip-flopped. Instead of sticking to what got them to 20-1, they fucking threw the ball. They flip-flopped. Did they not? They stopped running the ball in the second half. They stopped running. I mean, why would you stop doing something that made you world champs? Why would you stop doing that? Even if it sucks in how it looks. I told Xander there's no way they're going to change. They changed and they lost. Inconsistent play calling because the quarterback is limited. He can either do this at one time or that at one time. Or you got bad coaches, Nick and Kellen. Or Kellen. Kevin, it doesn't matter. Pick one. It's either Hurts or the coaches. You've been telling me Nick Sirianni, fucking Reuben Franks has got him ready to go to Canton. Is it bad coaching or is it limited Hurts? Pick one. Pick one. They stopped running because they can't? I was under the impression you had the number one O-line in football. Weren't you? So wait a minute. Coaching is a huge problem. 23 coaching was a huge problem. How many people in here think Nick Sirianni is a good offensive-minded coach? Let me ask M. Reyes this. M. Reyes, where are you? You think Nick Sirianni is a good offensive-minded coach? Yes. How many people, M. Reyes, do you think Nick Sirianni is a good offensive-minded coach? Okay, he does. Folks, then why is it that you blame Brian Johnson in 23? Now we have problems in the offense with a new coordinator in 2025. And Nick supposedly elevated both Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo. These are his decisions. These are his decisions. You've got the worst passing offense and one of the worst offenses in pro football right now. You'll probably be back to 29th this week. Okay? He's at the... Do you understand? Nick Sirianni is not a very good offensive-minded guy. It's whoever the coordinator is. Nick got credit a year ago because of Kellen switching the offense to a run attack. Shane Steichen got total credit, in my opinion, in 22. Get this. Ask yourself this. You see this guy here, M. Reyes? So Shane gets credit for 22. Brian Johnson took the blame for 23. Kellen got the credit in 24 along with Nick. Nick is now getting some of the blame with Kevin Patullo. Don't you see the pattern? How can he be considered a good offensive-minded guy when it wobbles this much? How in the world do you say he's a good offensive-minded guy? How can you say he is a good offensive-minded guy when your offensive approach wobbles every other year? Remember I asked you also a question? Do you think you guys took steps back in 2025 in the offseason so that you could be great in 2026 and 27? I want you to remember that. I asked you that question because we'll see how this thing ends up. Hurts was good in the first half. Unfortunately, there's two half to football games. Yeah, he was good in the first half. And when Vance Joseph and Sean Payton adjusted, the Eagles didn't. You had the lead. Why did you stop running? How about this? Why did you stop running the ball? Sils, if, and this is a big if, we go one and done, Patullo will be fired and the offense will look the same as it did a year ago. It won't look the same because your run game's not the same. Obviously, they did not adjust. They kept throwing. Why? You got the 31st worst passing offense in football. Why are you throwing? When you have Saquon Barkley and you only give him 1 or 2 carries in the second half. Help me out. I mean, that was one of the big things I had in the post game. Nobody can answer it. Why did they stop running? You had the fucking lead. Bro had to wait a year to be this passionate about an Eagle loss. Had to wait a year? Who gives a fuck about last year right now? I'm talking about the first 5 weeks. Huss, you look like shit the first 5 weeks. Offensively. And then, by the way, your defense got ran off the field because your offense was incompetent. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And get this, you didn't even turn the ball over and lost to the Broncos. Sils, they stopped running to satisfy baby AJ. All right, Well, let's go over there. Okay, let's go over there now. How many people in here believe A.J. Brown is the reason the Eagles lost that football game on Sunday? Dude, your route concepts, if you go back and watch the game, they're terrible. Okay. Half-ass routes? Me? No. Nope. His fault. Dude stinks. Patullo did not lose that football game. He didn't. He's being told what to do. Do you actually believe that Kevin Patullo has any say in what's going on this year with that offense? He's got no say. He may call the plays in game, and that's why it's so choppy, to your point, and that's why you see. But they're incapable of having balance. This is what happens when you have a guy who's never called plays. He has no balance in his approach. There's no balance. He looks like a first-time play caller. And it's evident. They can't do both at the same time for 4 quarters and 60 minutes. What does that tell you? It's an incompetent play caller. Well, Sils, why aren't we consistent? Who's calling plays? First-year guy. Okay, well, there's some of your problems. You know what it looks like to me, too, they're saying? Well, let's run the ball now. Let's throw the ball now. Let's not do both. You know what the problem seems to be also is this. You're right. You guys have won a lot of games. This one here, your coaches cost you a game. And the approach and the injuries in the O-line, that's not something to just overlook. There's part of that too. There's part of that. Okay, let me get this up here. I want to get the helmets up there. Okay, there's some of that too. I completely agree. But dude, they have no balance in the way. And how about, would we not agree? Do you guys think they utilize all the skill that they have on offense? The $200 million that they're paying. Do you think that they utilize it? Glad Hurts isn't turning back into a turnover machine. Yes. Sils, I think it's Sirianni, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and Kevin Patullo's fault. I completely absolve King Hurts from any blood. And he's doing that facetiously. I think Jalen Hurts and the rest of the offensive football players, I don't think that they like one another. I think it's becoming very evident after that Super Bowl win for Jalen Hurts. It's him and then the team. Until otherwise proven to me, that guy's a company dude. He doesn't speak for his football team. He speaks for Jalen Hurts. And those guys aren't happy with him. Look at how they're playing. Look how they interact. Shit, I'm told that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown have spoken very few words since training camp. I don't either. Hurts doesn't interact with no one except when on the field. Yeah, he's a company dude. He's being paid $50 million. He listens to what they say and what they do. I mean, AJ and him, you got a problem here. It's not true, Sils. He takes accountability every week. Bro, that shit that he did at the microphone, holy cow. Politicians lie to you every day. Coaches lie to you every day. So do players. People lie at the podium every fucking day. Or they manipulate what they want you to know. They tell you what you want to hear. I don't go by any of that shit. I go by how you approach your game and how you play games. Not by what you say at the podium. Haven't you learned over the last 4 years, when Nick Sirianni gets to the podium, it's bullshit. When Hurts gets to the podium, it's bullshit. I don't believe any of that. Eagles should be the easiest offense to coordinate. Right. I know you don't want to hear this, and I get it, Abe. I'm not saying that they don't want to hear this. That Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown don't have a very good relationship. All you got to do is watch the games. They could tell you all they want. Watch a game. Look at A.J.'s body language. You know what it is? I don't think A.J. Brown quit on Jalen Hurts. I just think that he doesn't trust that guy at all to get the ball to him. He doesn't think he's he takes subtle shots at him all the time. I need a real quarterback this offseason. Could somebody help me? It's kind of like a backhanded slap and fun. But when you're not doing well, you're not throwing the ball well, and he's not. A.J. Brown's having a terrible season, according to his standards that he said here. This is a great question. Sils, what happened to these guys being best friends? Remember that? Success? Success is the root of ego. And that's what's happened here. Success. I mean, look what it did in New England. Look what it did with Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones in Dallas. Success. Okay? Sils, remember when Pump said that Hurts wants to be like Mike? Proof is in the pudding. Okay? No, winning. Thanks, Pump. I heard Hurts was tapping Brown's short. I don't really care to get into their personal lives. Just win some fucking games. That's what it should be. Sils, if Jalen was my friend and talked to me the way he talks in pressers, it would get fucking exhausting. And I think he's that guy. He is exhausting. Jalen Hurts had two different messages last year compared to his teammates. Barkley had AJ. Devontae had AJ's back. The whole team had AJ's back. Hurts had the company's back. It's being played out. Look at it. And then get this. Here's the most important thing. I'll ask you one more time this question. Do you think the coaching staff trusts Jalen Hurts? Is Chris Sims biased or Jalen Hurts stuck in his ways? I don't think Jalen Hurts is stuck in anybody's ways. I think he's going to listen to whatever they tell him. So let me ask you, do you think the coaches, so wait a minute, you think the coaches trust him? Really? Okay. Why can't they run a balanced offense with him then? Run and pass. What's the hang up? If he's this talented, what's the hang up? If Jalen is this great quarterback that you're telling me, why can't they run the ball and throw the ball at the same time? Get this. You see this right here? I saw Baker Mayfield yesterday with 3 O-linemen out go up to Seattle and throw for almost 400 yards and win a ball game on the road. I saw you at home not be able to put any kind of balance together whatsoever. And a quarterback takes 6 sacks. If Sils were a good analyst, he would be asking why they didn't put AJ more in the slot. Okay? He's going to answer his own question. If Sils was a good analyst, he would be asking why they don't put AJ more in the slot like they did. And he got wide open. Instead, he'd rather blame Hurts. Why do you think they don't do any motion or move anybody around? Because the quarterback's limited. They're not going to do anything creative. The quarterback's limited. He plays in a limited offense. Prince answers the question for you, folks. The route concepts, no underneaths, all of that shit. He doesn't run a complex. So, Prince, you think the Eagles run a complex offense with go routes? 5 passing routes? Do you really think that that's a high-powered offense that can't balance themselves out in any way whatsoever and have zero balance to them right now? You think that that is a high-powered offense, and you think that that is an offense that has balance to it? Where? Where in the world do you see that? They haven't had balance in 2 years. Where do you see that? Why don't we do this? Why don't we put here? Prince answers your question for you guys. Because they can't. Because the quarterback can't. Truth, and I find it interesting, the 2 quarterbacks they have drafted recently are pocket passers. Get this. You can run those same routes in the slot, Sils. Why don't they then? Princeton, why don't they? It shows when guys want to play for you, with you, or are just doing their job. If A.J. Brown believes in Jalen Hurts, he's sprinting through that missed route. I agree with that. So the hate from folks like Chris Sims justified? Hate? You mean constructive criticism? Dude, Hurts is spectacular in a limited offense. Hurts is limited in a high-powered offense. He can't take pressure. I think it's evident right now. He struggles with blitzes. He's not gotten better at it. Where? Where in the world has Jalen Hurts gotten better? As a matter of fact, ever since he set protections, the passing offense has gotten worse. Has it not? Chris Sims doesn't blame Drew up for us losing. I'm not sure what that means. Well, that's James Franklin too. And personally, I never thought that kid was that hot anyway. Picking up the blitz, he sets it. Hurts is not going to get better. No. That's why you keep the offense simplified. Let him run what they run well. Limited offense. He's great at it. He wins a lot of games. Chris Sims is a constructive criticism. He's reading from a script, idiot. Those idiots don't know football. Okay, so you know more than Chris Sims? I'll debate that. So there's one question. Do you believe the various coordinators that Hurts has had is this throwing him further confusion? No, because according to Nick, they're keeping with the same philosophy. This is on Nick. If they're not developing route trees and they're not developing the quarterback, isn't that on the coach? Is that not on the head coach? By the way, they stopped developing Wentz too because of all the coordinator changes. Doug thought it was in the worst interest to get new coordinators for Wentz. Eagles didn't think that. They'd rather have a new quarterback. Absolutely everything is on the head coach. If he gets credit for wins, he gets credit for losses and the lack of player development. Yeah. What would you do if you were the head coach to fix our problems? Easy. Go back to doing what we did before. Don't turn it over. Run the ball. Play defense. But you know what? You got a problem now? What got exposed in that game yesterday? What got exposed in that game last night with the Broncos? Getting closer. Hey, Sils, it's more on the dummy coach and OC and the injuries, I believe. Narrative Petula's only here until Reich returns next year. Another 23 season coming. Balance? We're getting closer. Stay on the defense. Okay, I'll give it to you. Defense ain't good enough. They got worn out in the fourth. That's signs of things to come. That's signs of things to come. That was the first sign of it. They spent 4 weeks being an integral part of you winning. The fourth quarter, you got worn out. Just like you did in 23. Get this. See this guy down here, 23? Let's see. No, this guy 04 says I'm crazy. Well, he gave up 160 yards in offense, and you had 23. And you had like 4 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. You were completely dominated on defense in the fourth. Completely dominated. And you started going 3-and-out. And when the offense went 3-and-out, defense was back on the field. By the way, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, where were they? We'll get to the numbers here in a minute. Sils, when Peterson comes on, that's tomorrow at 3:30. When Peterson comes on, can you ask him 2 things? When he decided to go with Hurts and who decided to draft Rager? I will definitely ask him that. So let's go to the numbers here and take a look at what happened actually in this game. The Eagles were 2 of 11 on third down. Whew. What a ton of 3-and-outs. Holy shit. 2 and 11. They held the Eagles to 300 yards in offense on 55 plays. The Broncos had 70 plays. 130 yards rushing. The Philadelphia Eagles had 45 yards rushing. 30th from Barkley on 6 carries. So the rest of your run game had 15 yards outside of Barkley. The Broncos ran the ball 30 times. You ran it a total of 11. Get this. There were no turnovers. You didn't turn the ball over. There were 21 penalties in the game. 12 of them were on the Broncos side. They got back in this game by beating you up. Beating you up. Sils in 24, we scored points and our defense drives were 10-plus plays, so the defense was always rested and ready. Plus, they gave great field position to the offense. Correct. I mean, you sure you want to give Jordan Davis $25 million? Are you? Are you sure about that? I mean, you're getting beat now on the edges and you're getting beat up front. You're 24th wrong? Dude, you're 24th in run defense. Coaches and players share this one. You can't have rabbit ears and abandon everything you're built on while playing undisciplined and expect to win. And what I don't like about dude, I get the Rams and the Bucks and the Chiefs. The Broncos? If you were to tell me any one of those first 5 games that the Broncos would be the one to beat you, I would have had them last on my list. Next, I would have said maybe the Cowboys beat you because it's division, it's a right week 1, I don't know. The Broncos? Every single person in here told me it was going to be a blowout. What happened? I told you too on Friday, if you think you're going to blow somebody out, you're not blowing anybody out. That's not a team capable of blowing anybody out right now. AJ is the only one AJ's the only one not bought in. I don't think that's true. Everyone else is. Smitty, Saquon, Goddard, Dotson, everyone except AJ. I think you guys are wrong. I think it's Hurts. I think everybody's on AJ's side in that offense. It looks to me that way. And if it were me, I'd be on AJ's side, not Hurts' side. Anybody who drops around on a need management and that approach to winning and not having any kind of balance, how about this? How about hiring a qualified coach? But you know why they won't hire a qualified offensive coordinator? Because they don't want to have any more shit with Doug Peterson, Press Taylor. They don't want any of that shit. That's all about control. I asked you the entire offseason, and you know what the big pushback with me was? He's been in the building. It'll be an easy transition. I don't have any problems and worries about Kevin Petula. I kept telling everyone, if you think that's going to be an easy transition, you're fucking high. They passed the guy over twice. And now I know why. He's not very good at what he's doing. And the reason it looks so choppy, he's inexperienced at situational play calling, and he's going by the analytics. Well, we're going to do this here. We're going to do this here. Who told him to stop running the ball and being balanced in the second half? I saw some balance in the first half. I was okay with it. Yes, that's right. I did say that. Big Sils literally said on the podcast last year, Hurts and AJ aren't cool anymore. Nobody wanted to buy it. They're not on the same page. Watch how they play. How many people believe that those two guys trust one another? This comes down to trust, doesn't it? AJ doesn't trust him, and Hurts doesn't trust AJ. Sils, I believe there is a level of jealousy between the key players. Okay? Jalen avoiding throws to AJ, QB1 audibly out of runs, and AJ's PBU on Smitty. How about this? It's funny. You know, that's kind of crazy, but true. Sils, hey, we're calling plays in the second half like they were the team that was trailing. Yeah, I don't get it. Nobody can answer this question. Why'd you stop running the ball? I mean, you had 5 yards of carry. You know what I can't stand? One thing John McMullen does that just drives me nuts. So Barkley had 5 yards of carry, right? He goes, yeah, you take that one play away from him. It was more like around 3-3. Barkley's a big hit guy. He's going to have around 4 or 5 runs where he gains 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to be an explosive play. He's an explosive play guy. You can't just go like this. Well, let me take his explosion plays away and that's what he really is. That's not who Saquon Barkley is. He's a big hit guy. He's not a guy you give the ball 28 times to like Emmett, 8 here, 5 here, 9 here, 4 here, 3 here, 2 here, 1 here. That's exactly right, Kyle. He's like Barry Sanders. He's going to go 2, -1, 3, 8, 25. That's who that guy's MO is. That's why you keep giving him the ball. You keep giving him the ball because he's a breakaway runner. Well, if you take that run away, they're not really 5 yards of carry. Well, then you're taking away who the player is. He's a big hit player. I never got that. Now, look, if that was Emmett, I'd be like, yeah, okay, he had one big 13 or 25. That's not – Emmett was never that. Emmett was never a 25 or 30-yard breakaway, 75-yard run. That wasn't who he was. 9, 10, 12, 8, 5, 4. He methodically grinded you out of the game. Barkley's a big hit guy. Sils, what time frame would you give this team to fix their issues to get back on playing championship football? A month? I think this is going to come down to health in the O-line. Dude, your offensive line is in tatters right now. You're not a top 10 offensive line. Okay? According to J-Mac, the Eagles have been running the same offense since Nick arrived. Only difference is that 22 and 24, both OCs had a better feel for the situational football. Wonder what that means. Okay. So their mentality is and I happen to buy this, Prince. Prince is right here. They want to run the ball. Well, then, Prince, if this is the case, Prince, this is the case, then Nick Sirianni is not a good offensive-minded guy. He's at the be. He's relying on the front office hiring a good coordinator, is he not? So if they bring in a good coordinator with his offense to call the plays, to run the ball, and they don't, where's Nick's influence? So what you're doing is you're indicting the head coach on not being an innovative play caller. You're saying that he relies on the coordinators to do that because it's his offense. And they're doing a poor job running his offense. Is that what you're saying? Then Nick's not very good then. So then the Eagles go out and hire a Prince. So then the Eagles go out and hire a guy from within who's never play called. And they think that's going to what? Because he's been here? Okay. We all know Nick is not very good. Senor, well, let me ask you this then. Why would management be cool with that? Sils, this is the worst you've seen the O-line since your first year with JAKIB. Yes. I mean, they're still the best O-line in the NFC East. But that's not saying a lot. That's not a very good O-line. Denver's got a way better line, but Detroit's got a way better line. And they lost dudes. Kevin Petula was mentored by Sirianni. It sure looks it. Why are people surprised how bad this offense looks? I'm not. I never said he would work. I said you'd have problems with this. Now, I don't think it's going to get to the problems of... Then again, I don't think Brian Johnson was all that bad. The problem is, there's no doubt The offensive line is a problem. Sills, we won a Super Bowl with a bad head coach and quarterback. Guy's a joke. We won a Super Bowl with a bad head coach and quarterback. You've got great talent, though, on your football team. Only reason you're 4-1 is because of the gifted players you have and the defensive guy. And by the way, this is signs of things to come. Getting worn out on defense in the second half and in the fourth quarter. Unless they can stop those 3 and outs. This is signs of things to come. You're not that deep on that side of the ball. And you're giving it up now in your defensive tackle position in running the ball. Denver handled Carter and Davis. They handled them. And the edge rushers handled your offensive line and your offensive tackles. Your best players, Mulata and Lane, Denver handled them. Now, I know Lane's hurt. What's Mulata's excuse? Landon not being next to him? Absolutely true. The continuity in that O-line is not there right now. J-Mac has been hinting at the offensive problems being a Jalen Hurts issue for 3 years now. It's just getting glossed over by Xander and fanboys. That's not true. That is not true. And one thing I will say this about Xander, that is not true. There are no fanboys on this network. And as a matter of fact, I'll even defend John McMullen here. Of all the people that cover the Eagles, John is as critical as I've ever heard somebody cover the team. He's more critical than Jeff McClain is. He's more critical than anybody else that covers that team. He and I may disagree on things. And by the way, you know me, I don't gloss over anything here. If I thought somebody was ass-kissing, I would tell you. That's not how I see that. Believe me, if I heard it, I would say it. Too much ass-kissing on our network. That doesn't go on. That's not true. And I'm not defending it. I defend me. Good or bad. Eagles took a Fortune 500 company and hired a McDonald's line cook to call the shots. I like it. That's right. Absolutely true. Again, he and I disagree. That doesn't make him wrong. Sils, what is Clint Hurts' perspective about all this? It could running the ball be more incurring on our O-line too. It wasn't just Barkley on that 2K journey. I think Carter's injury is really more serious than what people are thinking. And it's affecting the interior defensive line. And that D line's getting, get this, you did replace Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. Who are you kidding? All of you in the offseason kept fighting me on this. Who in the world ever thought Moro Ojomo was going to be better than Milton Williams? Who ever thought that? He's nowhere in that guy's league. You don't have one edge rusher in the room of Josh Sweat. Nobody near him. I mean, nobody. Remember when I said you took a blowtorch to the defense? You did. Sils, I'm guilty. I thought Ojomo would be comparable. Curtis, it's okay. Curtis, listen, man. I thought he played well a year ago. I was with you a little. Listen, I don't think he's been poor. I don't think he's been bad, but remember something. Hoss, he was your backup. Your starter was Milton. Look at where you've gone from. Moro Ojomo, and then whoever's backing him up. Look at the fall off. You had Milton and Ojomo. Pretty good, right? This year, you have Ojomo and who? I mean, Ty Robinson, where is he? What's your backup there? Look at Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, Isaiah Rodgers, and Slay. It's you're falling off a cliff. Remember, I also told you that how is Reed Blankenship going to play next to the safety that's a rookie and a guy who can't tackle? Reed Blankenship has been one of the worst safeties in pro football. Do you know he's done more harm to his market value than anybody on that defense? I wouldn't give that guy $5 million. That guy is not a $5 million player. You're going to pay. There was talk of giving him $15 million. I was like, no way is that guy Derwin James. All the dudes that the only guy, and I'll make this point. I think Campbell's going to be a star. He hasn't replaced Nakobe Dean and what Dean and Burks did. How about this? At linebacker, you have Campbell and Trotter. Last year, you had Dean and Burks. You know, Burks is considered one of the best run-stopping linebackers in pro football right now. Look at the drop-offs. They're all being seen now, and they were seen in the fourth quarter. Dude, Denver didn't do anything special to you guys. They wore you the fuck down. Angelo Cataldi's going to join us at 3:30. They just wore you down. And for the record, Quinyon Mitchell was terrible in the second half. Shit, you want to shit all over Pump's Keely Bingo? I'll tell you what, he wasn't great either, but Q was worse. That guy Sutton owned him. Owned him. Ringo's one of the best special team teasers and is a starting corner playing pretty well. Okay, if you think he's playing pretty well, sure, okay. I don't, but all right. He's not terrible. Yeah, Corton was getting yacked because you couldn't get the guy on the ground. Constant Catches is getting cooked now. All the back shoulder passes. That two-eye safety, it got cooked in the fourth. Can we talk now from top to bottom? The D-line and edge group is terrible. D-line's getting run on, dude. So let me ask you this. John McMullen says that Vic will live with 5 yards of carry. So I'll ask you one more time. Will you live with 5 yards of carry from an opposing team when your offense leads the league in 3 and outs? How do you think that works? When your football team is number 1 in 3 and outs, your offense, the Eagles, and your defensive line is giving up 5 yards of carry, how do you think that works on getting back into games? You think Vic Fangio is really going to be good with giving up 5 yards of carry? The offense has 3 and outs, puts that defense in bad positions and field position, and you're giving up 5 yards of carry. That's a remedy to get worn down and beat in the end. Sils, until the Eagles start getting healthy, I think you're right here. A lot of things will change. I don't think Landon's going to get healthy unless they rest him. I might even rest him for the New York game. I might rest Carter for the New York game. Dude, you're now in the room here with this. you're in the room with the Bucks. Detroit looks like the best team right now at 5 games. But I'm not. There's no victories in 5 games here. But Detroit, Tampa Bay, Philly, San Francisco. By the way, it's Bucks in San Francisco this week. Then the Bucks have Detroit after that. Probably those 4 teams. Rams in there too. Sitting there at 3-2. Those would be your 5 teams. Tampa Bay, Detroit, Philly, San Fran, Rams. I'd put those 5 teams in there. I think you're all in the same room. If the Niners can beat the Rams, no reason why we can let injured players sit and still win Thursday. Right. How'd the 49ers beat the Rams? They had no Kittle. Trent Williams is injured. They had a starting quarterback that was a backup in Mac Jones. And they were able to beat the Rams. Here, your 2 big – hey, do you think there's any coincidence, guys, that your 2 biggest issues are your D-line and O-line right now? And Landon Dickerson and Jalen Carter are injured. Think there's anything to that? Anything? Right? I'll tell you this, man. The disappointing thing about that loss was that Denver didn't do anything special. They didn't turn the ball over. The Eagles didn't turn the ball over. How'd they get back in the game? Well, because when you have a training wheels coaching staff and a guy who's being exposed, the head coach, has some sort of savant. Reuben Franks has this guy earmarked for Canton? Well, explain to me then. Why is this guy tied to whoever the coordinator is as head coach? Shane Steichen's been the best coordinator that organization has had for Jalen Hurts, and they let him walk out the building. Then you went like this. Well, let me elevate my buddy here, who was in the building here, in Brian Johnson. Well, hell, his thing sucked. We got bounced in the opening round. I guess Nick sucked then, right? Okay, so they got rid of him. Last year, you go out of the building, then you bring in Kellen Patullo. So I want to go here with it. Kellen Patullo. And you guys won a Super Bowl last year. Then you hired Kellen Patullo again. And now you're sitting around going, what's wrong? I want one thing answered to me. You have a football lead. You score in the opening drive in the second half against Denver. You give Barkley the ball 2 times? I mean, you dominated them in the first half. Help me out here. Hey, and for the record, before I bring Angelo in, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship, you can blame the coaching staff for that. You can blame the coaching staff for that. You know why? Their inability to be able to have balance. You're telling me you can't have Barkley and Brown involved in a game plan together at the same time? Well, you're incompetent then. God, there's so much going on. Rob Thompson is also in trouble. I got to feel with Angelo Cataldi. Oh, and for the record, one of the people that Angelo loved to interview is on tomorrow at 3:30, Doug Peterson. So we will talk with Doug Peterson tomorrow, and we will ask him some questions because I'll be interested to see what he thinks of Jalen Hurts and how they're handling of Jalen Hurts and all this noise. Without further ado, the man who dubbed Bobo Patullo. And I got to tell you, man, as soon as that game was off, I went and got a Corona. I sat down. When? And I go 3:30, baby. Here he is. AngeloCataldi.com. Make sure you check it out. I am so privileged to have him here with us. Okay, so last week I couldn't lead Angelo down the bad path. Angelo, have you taken an off-ramp here after what happened on Sunday? Are we going somewhere else now here on this Monday?
Dan, I'm only on because I lost that bet. Uh, this is not my week. Understand?
Yes.
I'm going to go right into a hospital and get treated for exhaustion after this. I don't work this much.
Oh my
But
God.
what happened yesterday? Boy, did you nail it! This whole narrative right now about Hurts and Brown, it's not about them. It's about the coaching. It's about the fact that the coaches can't call plays to make them happy enough so they feel like they're contributing to another potential Super Bowl season. You said it. I don't even need to come on this show. The training wheels, Dan, the training wheel. You've got Patullo. In what world do you take the best running back in the NFL and give him 6 carries in an entire football game? So you got his 6 carries, then Hurts, he only ran twice for 3 yards, all right? 36 total yards running from 2 of the most dangerous runners in the NFL, right? So you say to yourself, well, clearly, you got to give the other coach credit, all right? Clearly, the other guy took that away. He got rid of it. Sean Payton went, I'm not going to let those guys beat me. Well, then, there must be a motherload of opportunity when you're throwing the ball. There must be amazing openings. If they've got a guy shadowing, I don't have to tell you this, they got a guy shadowing the quarterback so he can't run. That means they're a linebacker down out there. Somebody's wide open in the middle of the field. I design plays to get it to him. Scheme so these guys can find some open ground. Nothing. That was total malpractice by a coaching staff. And then that jackass Sirianni comes after and goes, hey, they were better at the details in the fourth quarter than we were. What details? You got the best runner in football. Give him the friggin' ball. And why don't you get somebody who can block so he can find a hole to get in? He's the same runner. He had one good run yesterday. You saw he still has that ability. You're not giving him the opportunity to use it. Dan, that was an awful coach game. Awful. I mean, Sean Payton took those boys to school in the second half yesterday. Took them to school. Showed them how to coach a football game. How to take advantage of stuff. How to adjust. Adjust to what you're seeing. First 8 drives, Denver, first 8 drives, 3 points, 7 punts. And then the last 3 drives, 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and a 2-point conversion right up and down the field. You know what they did? They adjusted. They took advantage of it. They adjusted. The Eagles didn't do that.
Even Vance Joseph, I thought, just absolutely coached the crap out of Kevin Patullo in that second half and Nick Sirianni here. So I'm going to ask you then, if they can't, they're not capable of putting a game plan together with balance. I kind of saw a little bit of it in the first. They were leading, AJ had like 40, Smitty had like 60. There was like 30 some odd yards rushing. Hurts was hitting people, and I was like, all right. And they were up in the game. Right. All of a sudden in the second half, they just came out and just stopped doing everything here. So let me ask you, Angelo, do you think that coaching staff trusts Jalen Hurts? And do you think Jalen Hurts trusts that coaching staff? Do you think that's where the problem lies right now? Because to me, I got to feel this. If you're constructing a game plan, Angelo, if you're putting a game plan like that, the way you put it, there's no way you trust your quarterback if you're not putting balance in it. I don't believe they do.
I'll say that. There's 2 answers to that. They have to trust him. They won a Super Bowl with the guy, and he won it for them. He was brilliant in those games. He was improvising great moments in those games. They have to have faith in him. Does he have faith in them? No. He's had a different offensive coordinator every year. Hey, he goes from good to bad, good to bad, good to bad. Steichen, good. Johnson, bad. Then he comes back last year with Moore, really good. Patullo, training wheels. No, Dan. He's looking around going, what the hell is going on here? Why can't they get me a good play caller who knows football, who understands the NFL, and will take the most talented offensive roster in the game and maximize their skills? When you score 17 points, the Broncos are not the 1985 Bears. They're not that good defensively.
No.
They're good, but they're not really. When you score 17 points at home against that team, shame on you. Shame. They should have won the game anyway. They should have scored 28, 30 points, 32 points. They should have won the game. But the play calling was in the fourth quarter. My God, what was that? They had one play that worked.
160 yards.
One, the bomb to Brown, and Brown, there was a miscommunication. Brown broke stride for a second, and that would have been a touchdown. Because
160 yards in the fourth quarter by the Broncos. The Eagles managed 22 and 18 points in the fourth quarter. So do you think they're afraid of hiring high-powered offensive coordinators because it will undermine the head coach?
They just did it. They did it with Moore.
But Moore, you got to remember one thing with Moore, he had some dents in the fender because he had been fired by Dallas and he had been fired by the Chargers or replaced by the Chargers. So he wasn't going to be a threat to go in there and like a Kingsbury would have been. I mean, if you get a high-powered guy in there, he's going to want control of the offense.
Moore had control of the offense. Moore was not being overruled by Sirianni last year.
So you think Patullo is this year?
Patullo is his Bobo. They are the same person. Do you understand? They are one and the same. When Patullo is talking to them, it's just the same thing as Sirianni talking to them. Because Patullo he is a yes man for the yes man. All right? Sirianni is a yes man for his bosses. Patullo's a yes man for Sirianni. The problem is Sirianni and Patullo don't know what they're doing. If you couldn't see that yesterday, a moron could call better plays than Patullo has for the talent on that field.
The wildest game I've ever seen called in my life. When you had the lead, you just stopped running the ball, and you had 3 and outs, and you lead the NFL in 3 and outs. Do you believe what I said prior to you coming on, that the wedge between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is because the coaching staff has put that wedge there?
Well, no, I want to go back for a second to something you just said because it's critical and nobody's picking it up. All right, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs.
Lead the NFL.
All right, but those 3 and outs in the fourth quarter, you understand how they empowered the Broncos? You got an 83-degree day, right? Those guys are on the field 35 minutes or so in the course of that game. There was a real imbalance in possession. Every time you go 3 and out, you're putting those monsters, those big 330, 340-pound guys back out on the field to suck wind for another 10-play drive. The offensive play calling very seriously hurt the defense yesterday.
Yes.
Very serious. But, nobody puts the two together. Well, the defense wasn't very good in the final drive. Well, they weren't very good because they were on the field almost the whole quarter. If the offense was sustaining a few drives and giving them a chance to catch their breath.
It's Chip Kelly-ish.
Yeah, it's bad. And Dan, that's the whole point. When you have a bad play caller, which they obviously do now, but won't acknowledge it yet, it hurts both sides of the ball. It hurts everyone. And you saw it yesterday against a good defense. Not a great defense, a good defense. I don't see how they're going to be able to navigate against, when they get to the bigger games, against good defenses with that guy calling the plays or calling the plays with Sirianni, who's already acknowledged he's not good at it. It's a stupid way to run a team that has the best roster.
Do you feel a little bit of 2023 coming?
Very much. Yes, I was experiencing that in the fourth quarter yesterday because they were 4-0. And I was coming on here last week and I'm going, how can I rip them? They won 20 out of 21. Well, this blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. You knew in 2023 that the Eagles were a paper tiger, that they were vulnerable against a good team and would get unmasked. You could see it when they were 10-2. You could see it. I went on San Francisco radio and I said, this will not be a close game. The Niners will win easily, and they did. And the Eagles lost all but one game the rest of the season. And I'm seeing a similar kind of thing now because the coaching is not good enough. We know these players are good enough. We know they can compete a lot better than they did in the second half yesterday. So what happened? The coaches blew it. They just blew it. And to this day, even though Reuben Frank has already been announced, he's going to give the speech when Sirianni goes into Canton, when he goes into the Hall of Fame. Reuben Frank he'll have like lots of stats. They say, this guy's unbelievable. Oh my God. No one's done this since Vince Lombardi. That kind of crap. But the fact of the matter is, Sirianni he's been very lucky. And the luck ran out yesterday. I don't know if we won't see it Thursday. The Giants stink. But you'll see it against good teams, especially good teams with good coaches.
Yeah, but you know what?
Coaches.
You know what, though, Angelo? If you would have told me the first 5 games of the year that the Broncos would have been the one to beat them,
yeah,
I would have said you were crazy. So
yeah.
I think this has got a lot of feel of losing against bad teams and decent teams because of what you just said. You lead the league in 3 and outs, and you're giving up 5 yards a carry. Teams are going to roll back in on you like they did in the second half in that game yesterday. So,
Dan, how do you lead the league in 3 and outs with all that talent?
Incompetent game plan.
There's no other. You lead the league, all these awful teams, and you have more 3 and outs than all of them. Somebody's not calling very good plays. There's talent everywhere. Everywhere.
Do you think the Eagles overcorrected, and that's what this was? And do you put a little of the blame on A.J. Brown for calling the coaching staff out? No. Even Devontae came out. There was a bunch of guys. How do you look at the noise now after the fact, after an L with A.J. Brown?
The essence of coaching is managing personalities. You understand? A.J. Brown is always going to be a pain in the ass because A.J. Brown is a selfish football player. A.J. Brown looks at the stat sheet at the end of the game, and he looks at his catches and his yardage before he looks at the final score. He plays for himself. This is not unique in the NFL, especially at the wide receiver position. It's fine. The guy is great. You gotta find a way to use him and maximize his ability. So yeah, no, I don't blame him. I don't blame Hurts. Those guys are basically victims right now of poor coaching. If they were being coached the way they were last year with Kellen Moore, they would have way more points, way more yardage. They'd all be happier. And honestly, they'd probably be 5-0. Although those other 4 games, they could have lost any one of those 4 too.
Absolutely.
They haven't been good in any games yet.
How about this, Angelo? 5 weeks, they found their identity last year. Right now, they're still searching for it, and they really don't know what they're doing, and they really don't know what that is. Are they going to run the ball? Are they not going to run the ball? Do you think that this time, do you think Nick Sirianni has the answers? Unlike he didn't have the answers in 23. Well, what makes him believe he's going to have the answers this year?
There's a term we use in Philadelphia that's really unique to our city, and it perfectly fits Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is the essence of a smacked ass. You understand? He is a smack. Let me give you an example of what kind of.
Here, please.
Let me explain to you what kind of a smacked ass Nick Sirianni is. So in the 4th quarter, and look, they did not get the benefit of some calls in the 4th quarter. I'll be the first one to tell you.
Yep.
That Goddard play, that you realize in 19 states, that's officially assault and battery. They put you in jail for that. And they didn't throw a flag pass interference.
I know, man.
The grounding was a grounding. Don't give me that crap. That was a grounding. All right.
Yeah.
And he on the sideline is freaking out like a maniac because that's who he is. He's very emotional, right? Charmingly so, actually. Very emotional. Now he comes out for the news conference and they go, hey, Nick, what'd you think of the officiating that game? Oh, officiating never affects the game. Never affects the game. I have learned from the years of coaching, it always balances out. So I went back and looked because I'm, kind of an amateur lip reader. And I kept looking when he was screaming at the officials. I was looking to see if I could see the words "balance it out." You're balancing it out. He didn't. then he wasn't saying that at all. He is full of it. You understand? Why hold a news conference to lie? You were upset. Why can't you share how you saw the play? You're that worried about, well, he's making what, 7-8 million now a year, whatever the hell he's making. You're worried they might fine you if you tell the truth about what you saw? Then don't hold a friggin' news conference, because I know you're lying. The games are televised. I get to see you on the sideline. You can't tell me I didn't see what I saw. It's right there.
I'm with you here.
He has no, Dan, he has no answers. The man, he won a couple of lotteries. He's driving around now in a Rolls Royce. But ultimately, the guy who's chauffeuring him around is Mr. Magoo, Kevin Petula. So
oh my God.
It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well.
Do you think Barkley's hurt?
No, Barkley is not hurt. His feelings are hurt because they only gave the ball 6 times in a whole friggin' game. My feelings were hurt. I'm just a fan.
No, I kept on our post-game show. I was like, why did they just stop running the ball? Help me out on that. You had the lead. You scored first. Why would possess you to just get away from that? Who told you that? Who in their right mind would even suggest that?
Well, let me, I can see, I follow this stuff, even though I'm retired, I just keep following. Nick explained all that in depth in his highly illuminating news conference. Well, I have to go back and look at it. What I think we were behind the sticks quite a bit. You
were up 15.
No, he's saying there were penalties and stuff from Toth and those stiffs he's been using on those backup linemen, by the way, stink.
Oh my God!
Why did they let Becton go?
Man,
why? I mean, those guys stink.
They were terrible.
That Toth is bad. Oh my God, that's who you got? Give me a break. Get somebody who can block.
Will this thing get turned around in the right way, or do you think this thing's headed in a bad direction?
Well, I said this before, and I'll say it again. It's going to depend on when Hurts takes upon himself the role of calling the right plays at the right times. He didn't do it yesterday, all right? Hurts knows by now what works on that offense. And one or two games ago, they took over. You could see that they took over and they won the game.
The Rams.
The Rams. They just took over in the second half and they just went down the field. That's their best hope, because if he's waiting for the Bobo to call the right plays, it'll be 1990. It'll be 2026, and there'll be another offensive coordinator there. Petula's one and done. I could already tell you that.
Do you think they'll make an in-season change?
Wow, that's how much more obvious does it need to be?
It doesn't,
right? I mean, but they won't announce it. Let's just say they'll keep this one internal, because this will look real bad again. That they did the same thing twice. They did it with Johnson, and now they did it with Petula. But Dan, you didn't have to be even intelligent to see this Petula. I told you before the first game, this would be a recurring theme of this season, because he's a novice and he's calling plays for a Super Bowl champion. That right there is ridiculous. Right there. Nothing else said. You've got the Rolls Royce, and you've got a driving trainer guy trying to drive it. It's not going to work.
What does Jeffrey Lurie, you think of this noise?
Wow, that's fascinating. They only showed him once in the game. He was there with his buddy Bradley Cooper.
I saw that.
And in fact, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, Jeffrey was getting a little frisky with his wife there for a second. Didn't it look that way? It looked like
only an eagle eye of Paisan could see that.
I don't know. I think it was when they went up 17-3, and they had just scored a touchdown. And Jeff's there with his wife and Bradley Cooper. And Jeff is on top of the 5-0. Oh, we're unbelievable. They never showed him again. I guess that's the way the NFL now doesn't upset the billionaire owners. You don't want to get them upset and show them when they're losing. But if he's not upset, he should be. How much is he paying Barkley? How much you get him to
20 million.
Ball?
20 million.
Well, then, I would go, 20 million. That's $1 million a game. I think I might want to get him more than 6 carries. I'm thinking, since, he led the league at 2,000 yards last year, maybe I'll get him more than 6 carries next time. Is that okay? You wanted Petullo. This is what I would be doing if I was Larry. I'd say this, Nick. I'd say, Nick, you wanted Petullo. How the hell did you end up with 6 carries for the best runner in football? How'd you do that? And then hopefully he would, Sirianni would throw himself on the mercy of the court and he would say, don't worry, boss, that'll never happen again. I'll make sure that never happens. But I don't care where the sticks are. We're going to have to give that kid the ball a lot more.
Angelo, what is Howie Roseman's role going to be moving forward in this?
Well, Howie Roseman has to, the first thing, Howie's got to do some explaining of his own.
He does.
Because he lost Becton, and he did not replace it with anybody that can
Milton
block.
Williams, Josh Sweat, none of them guys were replaced.
And Landon Dickerson just got injured again during this conversation we're having. Because it's about a 15-mile-an-hour wind today, and that'll be enough to dislodge one of his ligaments. That guy, all that guy does is limp off the field. Every friggin' game, he limps off the field. Either he's hurt, put him on the IR for a while. Why are you putting him out there every game, and by the second quarter, you need a replacement?
Because you see the replacements.
Well, Howie did not do enough
to
reinforce that offensive line. And I'll tell you something. Lane Johnson's a year older. I don't think he's playing as well.
He's not.
Cam Jurgens is not having a good start to this season at all. Dickerson's always hurt. And Mailata, I've never been as big a fan of Mailata as other. I think he's good.
Denver's Ends won that game. Denver's Ends won that game against those 2 guys.
Yeah, they did. So, Howie shouldn't be pointing fingers at anybody but himself there. He left some real big holes. And, he's smart. He's a great GM. He's got to go out and get a couple guys. Seriously, before the trade deadline, he's got to get a couple linemen in here to fix that.
Okay, so I'm going to go off the Eagles for a second, and I have to ask you about James Franklin. I want you to help me out on this. So for the first time in 42 years, a top 10 team goes and loses to an 0-4 UCLA football team. He's 4-21 versus top 10 teams at Penn State. I'm going to leave all the BS stuff out of the conversation here, but I'll tell you this. As a football person, that ain't Joe Paterno. How in the world does that guy keep his gig? Do you replace him at the end of the year? Do you just go along and lose big games and beat Rutgers and Iowa and those teams? Or do you really want to Penn State has too much talent, Angelo.
Dan, what happened Saturday is what gets people fired. All right?
Yeah.
A team with no wins coming into Europe. No, Dan, I don't know the inner workings of Happy Valley, right? I know that they completely bungled the whole Sandusky thing beyond belief.
Completely.
Right? And left victims everywhere. So I don't know if they're proactive enough to go, well, this guy he's not good enough, right?
But he's safe.
I'll say this. Give me a choice. James Franklin or Nick Sirianni? James Franklin, every time.
Wow.
Every time. And twice on Saturday.
You'll take James Franklin over Nick Sirianni.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. All right. You've been right on this one too. I'll tell you what. That old thing you had a year ago with your prediction on wins, I don't know. You're making a pretty strong rebound here, and you're kind of like Rodman at the rim right now, grabbing all the rebounds here. So Rob Thompson and the Phillies, man. Where are you with the Phillies here now?
Well, okay. It took me all this time. On the brink of Thompson getting fired, I realized that his first name is Rob, and all you have to do is add OT to it, and you got Robot Thompson, which it took me too long. See, the brain doesn't work as fast as it used to. I would have had this 4 years ago.
Is that why Rhea was in the room with you, just so she could make sure?
Yeah, Rhea. My one hope would be Rhea would tell me, "Why don't you try Robot? It might work here." Robot Thompson on Saturday night. This guy is so locked in on pitch counts and blueprints for every game that he never, ever reacts in the moment. So he figures out that he's got to get Matt Strahm to face Shohei Ohtani in the seventh inning. All right. That's his matchup. Now, how does he get there? Well, he's got Dave Robertson, all right, at 40 years old, who just came back in August and has never ended an inning, gone in, come back out. Hasn't done it. He's 40 years old. His things tighten up, whatever. But he's got to get 2 batters to get to Ohtani. So he decides, he explained the whole thing after the game. Well, Dave's pitch count was low. Oh, he loves pitch count. Dave's pitch count was low. So I knew he could handle the next 2 batters. Well, the next 2 batters got on base. So now he's got his matchup with Ohtani. But there's runners on first and second, no outs. Here he goes. Let's get Strahm in here. Strahm handles Ohtani. Strahm even handles Betts, who's a really good hitter against lefties. But he's still got to deal with Teoscar Hernandez. I swear, as God is my witness, I was watching it and I went, I know what's coming. I could see this happening because Hernandez is a great clutch hitter. Great. Boom. 400-footer, right center field, game over. And the whole reason was that Rob Thompson had blueprinted Matt Strahm versus Shohei Ohtani and didn't see anything else going around. And admitted it after the game. He admitted that was the matchup I was planning for. But you've got to react to what is happening in front of you. And there's a reason why he didn't get a managing job till he was 57.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't think quickly and he doesn't have confidence in his conviction, Dan. And you could see it in the dugout. He can't. So I'm hoping the one silver lining here is I don't think the Phillies are going to win this series. I didn't think they were anyway. But the one silver lining is that should be it for Robot Thompson.
I got a guy for you, and he wants the job. And brand new ownership is coming in, and he is having a meeting with Patrick Zalupski with the Rays. Okay. And his name is Kevin Cash.
Oh.
He's a 2-time American League Manager of the Year. He has taken pennies and dimes and quarters and everything and has manipulated 90-plus wins every single year in the American League East and competed and contended to win that division. Right. Andrew Friedman was the general manager of that team at one time. He's now the Dodger general manager. Angelo, when you have an open checkbook, look at what he's doing with the Dodgers. Could you imagine what Kevin Cash would do with Dave Dombrowski if you were able to get that guy all the resources on what he could do with the Phillies? He wants to manage somewhere, and the parameters are going to be that he can't manage in the American League East. He's going to leave the rest of the money on the table, and he wants to go and do a Joe Madden. What do you make of him taking over the Phillies?
I don't often come on to criticize the host, but Dan, you're aiming way too low. I think Kevin Cash should coach the Phillies and the Eagles. He's way smarter than either of these 2 guys. All right. Kevin Cash is a great manager. You understand? And he would, believe me when I tell you, in the moment, he would know to go instinctively rather than just by the blueprint. He would be able to get so much more out of that team than Thompson's been able to. But I said it about Franklin. I'll say it about Kevin Cash. Probably has never coached in his life in football. I take him over Sirianni.
Oh my God!
I'll start him as offensive coordinator. He could replace Patullo, then take Sirianni's job next year.
So you again at the end of this right here.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't think this ship gets righted, and this is
No.
headed for the 23?
There's one chance, and that's for Hurts to take over 90% of the authority of that offense, the way he did against the Rams, and take it upon himself. Because the people that are advising him on what to do not know how to do their jobs. I don't care what Reuben Frank's stats say. I don't care about the impending Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I'm telling you, those guys, if you're watching these games, Dan, you played the game. You know the game. If you're watching the game, you know that when they get in against the Sean Payton, they are in trouble because that's a good coach. Sean Payton knows what he's doing.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it there. I mean, hey, if there's one question I'd like to ask Doug Peterson from you.
Oh, right.
I got him on at 3:30 tomorrow. So I'm going to ask him at 3:30. I'm going to go around the room here, man. I go, how much was it with Press Taylor? What got you knocked out? The Jalen Reagor decision, who was really the call? Because I just hear these stories out there that are in the ether. I want to know what happened and why this guy's exit, because I heard that they were going in on a Monday and everything was going to be just about what, the next year was going to be. And by the end of the week, Doug Peterson was out. So, I mean, I want to know all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to know how he got knocked out of the window.
Dan, if you want to, I don't know if you'll answer it, but I know the exact right question to ask Doug Peterson. Did it surprise you, Doug, that the Eagles, after winning a Super Bowl, gave Nick Sirianni the honor, the right to name his own offensive coordinator and his own assistants when they didn't give you that opportunity? Why do you think it is that guy got to pick Petullo, got to pick Johnson before this, even before he'd won a Super Bowl, and you didn't get to pick Press Taylor and the guys that I think? He was too assertive. That Doug was too assertive. Doug told them when he thought they were wrong. Doug was not a yes man. Doug was probably not even all that diplomatic because Doug knew that the owner didn't really know that much football. And I don't know what was going on with him and Howie. I'd like to think he had respect for Howie. He should have. Howie's a very good GM. But Doug Peterson got fired. He was the first Eagle coach that won a Super Bowl and got fired 3 years later because he wanted to bring in his assistants and they wouldn't let him. And they let Sirianni do it twice, especially this last time, right after he won a Super Bowl.
You think that was a backhanded slap to Doug?
Of course it was. And he took it that way. And here's the thing. Doug may dodge that question because he's trying to get another job somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he will.
I'll phrase it in a way that
I'm telling you, Dan, that's the most honest guy in coaching I ever talked to. 33 years. I asked the question, he answered it. When he thought he made a mistake, he announced it to the world. He just told them. So I would love to know if he would address that because I know inside what he's saying is, why the hell did they give that jackass all that latitude when they didn't give it to me? Doug's resume in football is better than Sirianni's in my estimation.
You think he's a better coach, of course, right?
Do you have a dog?
Yes, I do.
What's the dog's name?
Stevie.
Stevie?
Stevie.
All right. Your dog, I would pick before I pick Petullo and Sirianni. Your canine.
He's a little tiny shit dog, too.
I think he's pretty bright.
Yeah,
my guess is he could design plays better than Petullo is.
Man, so you're telling me when Doug went in there, they wanted to fire Press Taylor. This is what got Dungy fired.
That's why they fired him.
Dungy fired when Dungy went to the Glazers and said he wanted to keep Clyde Christensen, right? And the Glazers went like this: no, we want you to get a higher powered offensive coordinator in. But they already had a plan.
Right.
That they were going to go and trade for John Gruden. So they used that to get the leverage to push Tony Dungy out, and that's how Dungy got the Colts job.
Right.
So do you think, again, that was a way to push Doug out, was the Press Taylor thing?
Ironically, they were right. Press Taylor stopped. When Press Taylor went to Jacksonville with Doug, he sucked. He was not a good offensive coordinator. There's only some certain people that know how to do that job, know how to dial up the right plays.
Agreed.
They're really good at it. And Press Taylor wasn't the answer either. But, he had earned
but Doug wanted him. Doug fought for him.
Doug desperately wanted him, and Doug lost his job over it. So, yeah, Doug has to look at the situation now at Sirianni and go, why did he get what I didn't get? We both won Super Bowls. Why did he get that? I didn't get it.
I want to sneak one last one in on you here with Carson Wentz. So how come I'm looking at almost the same inability to be able to develop Jalen Hurts? Last year, they didn't give a crap on – they were 29th in passing last year. This year, they're 31st in passing. I mean, what – aren't you seeing kind of the same things a little bit with –
No, not even close.
With coordinators?
Fine. Hurts will be fine, Dan. Hurts is not a problem. He is not a – did you see the deep balls he was throwing in the first half?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. He runs – just give him the right plays.
So this is on Nick.
It's total – Jalen Hurts has never been a problem. He's a great leader. He's a terrific player. He's got a great skill package. He's not a problem. And Brown is a problem, but he's a problem a coach has to know how to manage. And right now you're seeing problems with the coaching.
Would you trade AJ?
No. Under no circumstances. I don't care. Sit on the bench. I'm not trading you. No.
Even after the year and even after this season?
Probably not. I mean, for this season right now, I couldn't get anybody half as good as him.
No way.
And then why am I getting rid of him? I'm trying to defend the Super Bowl championship. I got to have him. He's got to do it. I can just kiss his ass a little. Have him go with Sirianni up to the bosses and watch how Sirianni kisses their ass.
Go on the yacht.
Maybe he'll learn that way.
Go on the yacht, right? Go on the yacht.
That's it. Go buy another yacht, Jeff. It's about time again.
Oh, my God. Angelo, great stuff. Make sure you guys check out angelocataldi.com. Okay, wait a minute. I got one last one here for you. If they lose again, will you be too exhausted to do Monday?
Oh, I am not. You even put me on longer today. Right now, I got my wife warming up the car. We're going right to the emergency room. Exhaustion.
You got to get a fibrillator.
Twice in 1 week? Have you lost your mind? I'll see you again around Thanksgiving, buddy. Get out of here.
Hey, Angelo, love you, man. I'll see you down the
Dan.
line here, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. Hey, if they lose again, though, holy cow. Unbelievable, man. Hey, Bobo Patullo. Yeah. Oh, my God. Nick Sirianni, man. Busy a job. Okay. No problem. I'm good. Help me out here, folks. Is Nick Sirianni going to turn this around? Why in the world? Okay. I have no idea why Hurts turns down Goddard here. Okay. People are posting open plays. Okay. Get this. So Seth Joyner just sent me something. Cam Jurgens is getting destroyed by the defensive line of the Broncos. A.J. Brown is the primary on this wrap-in concept. He never threatens Surtain vertically or outside. It's a poorly designed route. This is exactly what I said to you guys. Those route trees are just terrible. This is like the worst coaching offensive staff that the Eagles have had in 4 years. It is. It is just all over the place. Look at what poor coaching does to great talent. Dude, you guys are 4-1. And the only reason you're 4-1 is because of your brilliant talent. I mean, just your fantastic talent is the only thing. We better not lose to the vagina. That's funny. Well, if you start sitting players like Jalen Carter and Cam Jurgens or Landon Dickerson, that could be a problem. Who saw the video of Hurts running to the end zone on a zone Hail Mary? One of my biggest issues was when DeJean caused a fumble and they gave Nix the tuck rule, even though it was obviously a fumble. Ball didn't move. It was poorly officiated game. You know, I hear John say that I'm not going to go down the lane of officiating. Well, you could say when a game has been poorly officiated, and that game was poorly officiated. I didn't really think the Bond hit on the player, on the Bronco player. I didn't think that was roughing. I thought it was aggressive. Does Zach Bond come off like a dirty player? He doesn't. He's got no history of it. DeJean had a perfect pass rush rep on that play also. We might actually lose to Carson Wentz and the Vikings. Yeah, I don't know about that. Nick's offense looked just fine with Scanner McKee out there. If we get to the quarterback against the Giants, if we can't get to the quarterback against the Giants, Howie Roseman better be on the phone right after the game. Yeah, dude, your edge rushers are not very good. If the thing got swatted up, we could have had a chance to catch his own pass for a TD. Dude looked like he was still fighting for yards on the Bond hit. Yeah, I didn't think that was a very good call either. Not to mention the second intentional grounding. You know, I actually thought he was outside the hash marks, but when I saw it again, you know, I thought it was lost it down. And that was a critical play in that series, too, because they scored on that. Judge off of preseason, 2 quarters, reps, is brain dead. Dude, you have a guy calling plays that's not qualified to call plays. Not for that team. Here, I'll take this back. Kevin Patullo is qualified to be an offensive coordinator, just not with the Eagles. You have a Super Bowl offense. Now, if you want to put Kevin Patullo in Tennessee, this goes into what Brady was talking about with that 5 minutes of gold. What are you teaching them? What are the Eagle coaches teaching Jalen Hurts right now? Nothing. What are they teaching him? Route concepts? No. Prince has something earlier. Why don't they move AJ around in the slot? Are you crazy? More confusion? The quarterback is not that good at design complex offenses. They knew that at Alabama. And those of you are going to be sitting there going, there goes Sileo shitting on Hurts again. No. You've got to design plays for a guy and his capabilities, and then to bring out the best in him. That's RPOs, simple throws, him getting out in the open. What was the one thing that Denver did in this game? You know what it was? They kept him in the box. There was a spy the whole time. So to Angelo's point, you got a spy. Both ends are keeping him in the box. You mean to tell me that AJ or Devontae's not with single coverage? I think you want to hear what I think Vance Joseph did in that game? I think they said this: Devontae Smith's not going to beat me. AJ is. Let him get his yards. And they did. Devontae wasn't going to beat them. AJ could beat them. Barkley could beat them. And Hurts with his wheels could beat them. They stopped the run. They had Surtain on AJ. They stopped AJ. They stopped. If you notice, didn't Goddard have a pretty good game here? At least in the first half. Goddard had 3 catches for 19 yards and a TD. If you would have kept throwing the ball in the second half, would have been 26 for 40. I don't know. He had that 11-yard play down the middle of the seam. A.J. Brown had 8 targets, 5 catches, and 43 yards. I'll take that line any day against A.J. Brown. 5 catches, 43 yards. Barkley was more of an impact player than what A.J. Brown was in the passing game. That's not what I want to see. Barkley in the passing game and not in the run game. He had 6 carries. And Dylan hurt. Get this. The quarterback aside, they had 3 carries outside of Barkley. So Shipley and Dylan and Barkley, you take the 2 carries away from Hurts, you had 9 carries with running backs in that football game. Dan, believe it or not, we needed this loss. I hate that line of thinking, though. I spy with my little eye Goddard and Dotson open. Let me try and force it to Brown. You want J-Mac to make excuses for AJ purposely missing his block on Smith's screen. Then he grabbed his face mask on the Hail Mary. AJ, a low-key dirtbag. Dude, A.J. Brown likes the drama. But A.J. is talking because where is he now in targets? Let me take a look at this. And where he is in the NFL going into tonight's game. So let's go down here and see where he is. And see if he's gotten any better. And where he is with targets. Okay. So he was 61st last year or last week. He's now 58th. Let me explain something to you here. We're going to get Gary Cobb here on in a minute. Why did you stop running the ball in the second half? Barkley had 1 or 2 carries. You were winning. You were winning the game. And then here's the other thing that was troubling. Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson got their asses kicked yesterday. They did. The run defense gave it up. The Bronco O-line ran you over. Get this. The Broncos didn't do anything special in that game. They just ran you over. Wow. And the predictability of the play calling was atrocious. So you go from some sort of balance in the first half. In the second half, you go to this imbalance. All right. I couldn't wait to get G Cobb. By the way, Angelo was fantastic. Tomorrow, we are going to have Doug Peterson on at 3:30, and we're going to talk to Doug, and we're going to get his take on the Eagles. We're going to ask the question, too. I thought it was interesting. Before I get G Cobb, I want him to hear this. Angelo wants me to ask Doug tomorrow, why do you think they gave Nick Sirianni the ability to hire his own coordinators after both Super Bowls, but they didn't give you the ability to hire your own coordinators? With that being said, the king of shitstorms, me, Big Sils, wants to welcome in My friend from Fox 29, longtime NFLer, former Eagle, JAKIB. JAKIB, that's the first. He making my first question to Doug Peterson tomorrow.
Oh man, I tell you, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. You're shaking things up, boy. You start asking.
Oh, I'm going to, man. All right, let me get your takeaway, man, on what you saw yesterday.
It was, it's astonishing. They made the change, and they did need to start throwing the ball. Okay, first half, they're throwing the ball. They're also running it some, but they basically saw, look, we're not going to be able to keep playing a game where we're not really going after the throat of the other team. Look, we're not out there trying to make friends. If we can blow them out, we blow them out. But anyway, they're throwing the ball. They're being aggressive and everything. At the same time, you had Saquon running for like 30 yards on 5 carries. That's 6 yards a carry. Okay. Get in the second half, you wonder where nobody on the bench, none of the coaches go, hey. We got a lead now. You know what? Let's let this clock run some here. Let's get Saquon into it. And from what I understood, I was told that they were running kind of an RPO that gives Jalen the option to either throw the ball, hand it off to Saquon, or run it himself. See? So what they didn't do was to say, hey, look, let's give that ball to Saquon some coach got to say, hey, we got to get Saquon involved. In fact, the head coach is supposed to be standing back, and he's supposed to be looking at the big picture and go, let's get Saquon. We got this guy here that can run. We had some success running the ball in the first half, but obviously nobody brought it up, obviously. Or anyway, they didn't do it because you're going to tell me you got a 2-touchdown lead and you don't go, look, let's let the clock run some, because what you did was you're throwing the ball every play. Every time you have an incompletion, it stops the clock. You want to let that clock run. That's why when you get a lead, you want to put the ball on the ground. It shortens the game, So they made mistakes, man. You let that game get away where you're on top of these guys by 2 touchdowns, and you let them at your house, and you let them come back and win like that. That clearly was a mistake. You didn't have the communication, because in the second half, you got to get Saquon involved in it. Either you're calling these option plays. Well, then you got to just call a play where you give Saquon the ball. And it's too bad Saquon didn't do an AJ on him. Go, look, give me the daggone ball. I'm over whatever, because you got to work him into that, because one drive and that game would have been over.
Oh, yeah. They scored right out of halftime, and they go up, and all of a sudden, Gary, they just stopped running the ball, man. I mean,
at all.
No running. He had 2 carries.
It's terrible. Like in the second half, he had 1.
Yeah.
5 in the first half, 1 in the second. 6 carries in the total game. First of all, yeah, we need to throw the ball some, but we're not talking about totally abandoning our running game. Come on,
how much of this?
mean,
how much
I don't know how the coaches explain that. I mean, don't they talk? You're gonna tell me nobody in there goes, hey, fellas, we've only given Saquon the ball 5 times in this game, or 6 times in the total game. Nobody was talking about, to get the passing game going. Nobody was talking about totally abandoning the running game. You got to keep a defense honest. Come on. And then you got a lead and you don't run the ball at all.
How about this too, Gary? The route concepts. You got to give me more than go routes.
Yes.
I mean, there's just no like no underneath passes. I know they were trying to get the ball to Barkley. Barkley was more of a factor than A.J. Brown was in that ball game. I mean, who do you put this at the feet of? Do you put this at Nick, or do you put this at Kevin?
Nick's ultimately the guy in charge. I mean, like, people are coming to him with ideas, and and good coaches, they got the door open, where you got guys you trust. You go, look, if you see something screwing up, you come tell me, and don't wait till after the game. During the game, you come, hey, coach, and these are guys who've been around. For that matter, your offensive line coach. Come on, you're gonna tell me your offensive line coach doesn't know? Hey, we're not going to run the ball at all. I mean, they got to have communications, and this is one they got to learn from this, man. They cannot make this mistake where you don't have some kind of communication where somebody says, look, that's like, hey, let's say you got a house and there's a fire starts, and well, that's not my job.
Yeah, that's not my job.
Look, whatever, we don't give the ball to Saquon Barkley, and we're sitting over there. Yeah, we want to throw the ball some, but we don't want to totally abandon our running game. How they could have done that? That says that there was somebody, you got all these coaches with all that experience. Somebody say, hey, come in and go, hey, you guys, do you realize we've only given the ball to Saquon Barkley one time this whole half? Come on.
How much, Gary, do you blame A.J. Brown in the whole week of the noise, or do you not?
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't blame him. These are professional coaches. So, look, AJ, we're going to work you in. We're going to get you involved in it. But we're not going to totally abandon who we are, which is we paying all these guys up here to block people, and we're going to run the ball. We're not going to totally abandon our running game like that. And in the second half, also look, they did nothing after the Saquon touchdown. They didn't do anything offensively, other than that last drive, which was with minutes to go. But other than that, they did nothing, man. That's just a total. They got too much experience in that coaching staff and everything to do something like that. I mean, I don't want to say they were really the cause or whatever, because the players ultimately, got to get in there and execute and do better than that. But you got to do something in the second half offensively. You got too many weapons. Come on.
How about this one, Gary?
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be the precursor of things to come here, that in the fourth quarter, the Broncos went for 160 yards. The Eagles had 22 offensively. They surrendered 18 points. The Eagles lead the NFL in 3-and-outs right now, and they had a ton of 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter. And it looked to me like that defense got worn out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be a precursor to things to come if that offense doesn't right the ship? Because, Gary, they lead the NFL in 3-and-outs by a large margin. Okay, I mean, could this be a situation where you see a little bit with Chip Kelly kind of stuff back in the day, where the defense just gets worn out because the offense's inability to keep the offense going?
Well, it's something that they definitely got to talk about and think about. Look at that second half. Come on, man. We can't let somebody do that to us. Where we're 3-and-out. Come on, and we got a 2-touchdown lead, and we choke it up, and we got weapons over here. Come on. And then we're going to get so one-sided where we're doing them a favor. Come on. One of the things when you playing defense is you don't know whether they're going to run the ball or throw the ball. You think so you're looking for everything that's going to tell you what they're going to do. That's part of playing defense, especially on the pro level. The whole thing is you look at all this tape so okay, they're running. Oh, they're going to throw it. They didn't even make them do that. Meaning, like in the second half, well, we're not going to run, you guys. Just letting you guys know, we're throwing the ball every play. Come on, you don't do it. I mean, they weren't doing that for them.
Did Sean Payton
have a balanced attack? What's that?
Did Sean Payton, in your opinion, did he outcoach Vic Fangio in that game?
He got it done with it on the line. I'd have to give them edge without a doubt. And Sean Payton is not the kind of guy, you you're all of a shame if he does outcoach
Right?
somebody.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, he's one of the best.
The guy's a good coach. I mean, come on, look at the coaching job he did. What about the 2-point conversion? He knew what
Without
play.
hesitation.
Come on, and he knew what play he was going to run and who he was going to run it on. Come on, that's good coaching. He sat there, and go, okay, we're going after this kid here. You know, we know the play we're going to run against the kid. I mean, that's good coaching, man.
How do you think the defense played in this game?
You know, they had some.
The two tackles gave up 100. The two tackles gave up 135 yards.
That's
rushing.
That's just flat out not good enough. I mean, they got to play better than that. You know, they know they got to play much better than that. And you know, people are going to be looking for them. Come on, you guys won the Super Bowl. You know, you don't be surprised if the teams are ready for you. I mean, obviously, they did some homework with the things they were doing against them. They did homework. These are the plays we're going to run because of different things they saw. And the thing about it is, it's early, still early in the season, and you learn from this, you know. And they did that last year. And you know, I know these guys are they're not old professionals, but they're professionals now. You do your homework. Part of you knowing what other teams are going to do, and you got to give these people credit. Meaning the opponents you have. These are not guys just off the street. You're going to have big, strong people that you're going to have to play against, you know. So you learn from this. So this is something they learned. I mean, it's one that got away from them that they had, but it's you know, they're still in a good situation. They got to learn from that. But
Gary, how about this? Last year they had 5 games, and they found their identity after the bye.
That's right.
Going into this week's game against the Giants, you know, you're not going to find anything. You should handle that football team because they have lesser talent.
Correct.
You think this is going to be a longer putt to try to figure out what both sides of the football are? Because last year, man, after that bye, they took off. Right now, they're wobbling. And I don't see them.
You know, having the team beat you, they're kind of doing you a favor. They're showing you yourself, you know. If you're over there beating up on everybody and these teams, you know, can't do anything against you, but the plays they ran, the way they attacked the defense, all of that is you know, and you saw where you know, he's good at that. You know, this defensive coordinator he's seen a few seasons, so I expect him to, you know, make adjustments and they'll learn from this. They should learn from. And offensively, see, the thing offensively you got, okay, you saw now you can throw the ball, okay? Throw the ball with some success. You got to do some of that every game. And, you know, they got to have some things they're going to go to, and they got to, basic thing is they got to mix up what they're doing. They're not going to just be able to come out, say, we're running the ball down you guys' throat. You know, we haven't seen them be able to do that against anybody yet. So they got to mix it up, and you got to coach where, you know, you're running sometimes, you're throwing sometimes, and that's what pro ball is. I mean, it's not something they don't know, and they should just learn from this. And I think they will learn from it. And a lot of times, you know, it doesn't really sink in unless you lose. So some of that's good.
Do you think Kevin Patullo's qualified to be the offensive coordinator of this team?
Well, I can't really blame this on him. Meaning, like they had you know, they went in to throw the ball. They were going to throw the ball against these guys. They had some success throwing the ball and everything.
So this is on Nick to you.
I think this got to be on Nick. And come on, they're at the game. It's not like they weren't at the game. Hey, Kevin, let's give Saquon that ball some. How hard is that? You over there on the sideline. Hey, let's not forget to run. Even Coach will remind the guy, hey, don't forget we want to run that ball some. We would like to take over. We got a lead, you know. And so that should have been something that should have been talked a little bit. And like I said, because they ended up losing this game, it stings. It teaches you a lesson, you know?
Do you have a 2023 feel to where this thing could end up going that way? I mean, that thing just, I mean, it just
Hey.
fell apart in the second half. I'm not suggesting, Gary, that we're going to see a string of 7 or 6 losses or what have you, but doesn't this have a little 23 feel to it, or is it still too early?
You lost the game. Yeah, these are pros you're playing against. Even the Giants. I mean, they got some talented players. They still have they gotten their whole thing together? No, you got a young quarterback and everything, but they got talent. So you don't want to take anybody for granted, and they are going to have to play smarter than that. Yes, and could they lose some games? Yes. Come on. They just say, oh, they're just going to walk through. No, it doesn't work that way. So they do need to, sometimes a loss is the only thing that you hear. You don't hear anything else, and they'll know they got to be smarter than that. Come on. How'd you get out of there? And your running back, you got to lead. This guy carries the ball one time.
Don't you have spotters telling you that Barkley's got 6 carries?
Come on. You figure that, somebody should be telling. I mean, come on. That doesn't make any sense.
Do you think Barkley's hurt? Do you think Barkley's hurt, or is just incompettent?
No, I don't think he's hurt. But even if he wasn't, we put one of the other guys in there and we'll let him run the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
And then also with the offensive line, you're pass blocking every play. You're going to tell me, hey, coach, could we run the ball a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, these guys are flying off the line of scrimmage. They know we're throwing the ball every play. Coach, do we have to throw the ball every play? I mean, you figure you got guys that have been through this before. So that's something, it'll sting. See, because of things like that, it really stings where you're smarter than that. They're smarter than that. We got Barkley over here. We don't ever give the guy the ball. Let him run the ball. We're going to do them a favor. Hey, we're just going to throw the whole half. Just letting you guys know. We're not going to run at all.
Gary, I got 2 last ones here for you.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Do you think there's a problem with that relationship with those 2 guys?
There might be, but so what? We don't care about that. I mean, because you do rub each other, in a team, you rub each other the wrong way sometimes. But you get over that because you're both trying to win, and both of your success is tied to each other. So, you get over it. Whatever. He goes, hey, man, such, man, whatever. You get over it because if you're on the same team and you're pulling the same way, so if they, if there's a little bad blood, so what, man? Get over it, man. Your job is to hook up and let's throw that ball and let's have success. And, everything will be great if we win. It all, you're really good amnesia if you win.
No doubt about it. Hey, do you think Jalen's playing well this year?
I think he's doing some things well. The one thing he's done the best is he's staying away from throwing interceptions. He hasn't thrown one.
He's taken a ton of sacks.
I know, and that kind of thing. See, you could be going too far that way. But those are the kind of things they got to talk about. Looking at, and I'm going to take a look at some of because I can look at it with the, where you look at it and you see everybody on the field and everything to see. What is he seeing?
Team copy.
And I know that, the
you watch the team copy, Gary?
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, I watch the team copy.
Okay, all right.
Good. And the thing about what was I say about Jalen is, the book on him is zone man to man. In man to man, he could kill you because he'll take off running on you.
Right.
You got these receivers. They're going to be tough to deal with if you got them man to man. If you play zone, he'll hold the ball on you, and then you got everybody, I know about the rules where you got a running quarterback if you're in zone, of course, as a linebacker, you're going to see when he crossed that line of scrimmage, you're going to be up there on him, buddy.
Help me out on this. Why do the
Yes.
Eagles, why do they fight max protection? Like, they don't have max protection for him, for a guy that takes a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what they also did too. I mean, they did this to Jalen. Did you see how Denver was bringing up 9 guys?
Yeah, I saw
and then
that.
they would drop.
Yeah.
That kind of disguising and reshaping what they were doing.
Yes.
I thought it confused Jalen.
I think it probably did. It definitely made him have to. He's not sure what he's looking at, because you're looking up, hey, and you saw that, hey, sometimes they were sending just about the whole house, and he got sacked a couple times there. But that is what, I know if I were coaching against Jalen, I'm going to show him a lot of different things like that. I'm going to do, but of course, if you're in man-to-man, though, man, you see how he's hurt so many teams. They got to jump in man-to-man, and you got everybody covered. Come on, we saw it in the Super Bowl. The Joker takes off for 30 yards on you, man. That's the dagger in the heart.
I thought that, Gary, though, I thought that confused him when Denver and Vance Joseph brought all those guys up. They put 9 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and
I thought there was blocking concepts that they missed in that.
Yeah, and see, they definitely, they definitely were going to show some things like that to try to give him those looks, then come out of there, let's say, and drop back in zone.
Yeah,
but they did a pretty good job in the second half of mixing things up, and that's where, again, you don't run the ball at all, because if you split, if they're gonna send everybody up there, and Saquon split that seam, it's bye-bye. If you run it and he gets a quick hitter and you got everybody on the line of scrimmage and you just got 2 guys out there that playing man-to-man and everything, hey, zoom, bye-bye.
You don't think he's hurt then?
Who's that, Saquon?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him being hurt at all.
He looks normal to me. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he's hurt. I don't think he's hurt. I mean, but it doesn't make any sense. You don't give him the ball though in the second half. And like I said, even if it's not him, somebody you run the ball some to keep these guys honest. Come on. But and you got a lead. Once you got the 2 touchdown lead, you don't run the ball
at all. 1 carry to Saquon Barkley in the second half of that football game when you have the lead has yet to be answered. Yeah. And I don't care what you're talking about, dialing up anything. Dude, you had dominated them in the first half.
That's right.
They couldn't get, it was punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out.
Yeah.
You had them. You had that. Do you believe that game was lost because of coaching?
They played a handed, of course, the players too, but without a doubt, that come on. No way. That it doesn't make sense. I don't understand. I don't think I don't understand that,
I'm with you. Gary, you think he gets righted against the Giants, right?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so, but the Giants can do something. The Giants got a good front 4.
Yeah, good front 7. Actually, that kid Abdul Carter looks spectacular.
Yeah. So,
hey, how about Cortland Sutton owning Q in the second half?
Now that was, you're right. That's why, hey, look, the way it is. We've been through this. You got to give everybody you playing against.
They're good too. They're good too.
These are pros. You're not playing off kids off of the street.
That's
so.
Right.
The guy's got a uniform on. You got to give this guy some respect to where, look, you beat him. You do not cut him any slack, man. Sorry.
Absolutely. JAKIB, it'll be a very interesting week.
It's going to be interesting. You better believe it's going to be.
I thought we'd see a bunch more tweets out there, but yet it's early in the week, so we have to wait and see what shakes out here.
Well, you know what? This was this is like when a heavyweight champ and the heavyweight champ gets hit. A lot of people, especially after the game, people are just
I'll leave down in the 15th round. Is that what you're saying? He's got to pop back up again, right?
People say, "Oh man, this one's over." Man, once Saquon scored that touchdown, it's 17-3, man. No, this is NFL football, man. These people don't quit.
No way, man. They came back and they rolled back. JAKIB, we'll catch you next week. Thank you for all your help as always, my friend.
All right. Hey, have a good one.
You got it. Gary Cobb. Wow. Man. Hey, listen. Some of you out there may be thinking that I'm enjoying myself here. Oh, no. No. We are not enjoying ourselves. I am enjoying the fact I told you so. What I am, that this was going to be a tougher putt if you were going to get to a Super Bowl this year. This is going to be interesting, how this thing finishes. By the way, New Jersey Maniac, I saw all you guys as supers. After we do Xander, and Xander comes on, we'll read all the super chats here. So I'll ask everyone here. Should Eagle fans be concerned about the offense? Should you be concerned about the offense? Yes or no? Who did worse, Eagles or your Josh team? Like I said to you before, Josh has to play like a superstar for his team to win. Hurts has to play like a bum for you to win. There's a difference. I mean, Josh Allen can't play like a bum and the Bills win. Hurts can play like a bum and you win. There is a difference. So I'm concerned because of the run game. Yeah, me too, man. Run game is really a problem right now. It is. We don't have plan B. When it isn't, that old line needs to get healthy. Well, they're not going to get healthy. I'm honestly not worried about Steen if everyone else is healthy. Cam Jurgens is getting knocked off the football. Man, I don't even know who those two defensive tackles are for the Denver Broncos. But they beat the piss out of them. Let's see. You guys are 26th in rushing. 29th in passing. 26th in rushing. And you're not worried about it? People think that because when the Eagles lose, you are smiling from ear to ear. Well, here, Des. Think about this. Why the hell would I want to cover a football team that was 7-10? Who wants to do that? I don't want to cover a shitty team. I want to cover a good football team, not a shitty team. Covering shitty teams, trust me, I have. It's brutal. 45 yards rushing. Yeah. Sue, you know that. I'm not I would never root for your team to lose. Never. I mean, that hurts my show. That's not what this is. By the way, being right hurts my show. Doesn't help it. Hey, Sils was right. Great. See you later, guys. I'll see you next year. I'll see you for the draft. That's not what we're doing here. He was so great. That fourth quarter was ugly by him, though. I thought he was great in the first half. I agree with you. That's just my guess. Okay. Fair enough. Our show, all of us. I'm with you on that. We lose to the Giants Thursday. I call it now. You're not losing to the Giants on Thursday. If you lose to the Giants on Thursday, holy cow. Hey, man. If you lose to the Giants on Thursday, it's over. Dan loves covering this organization and the fan base. That has more truth to it than you know. If it's our show, take the cowgirl's helmet down. Bro, that's where I played. All those things back there. I got my uncle. I got one of my best friends. That's the first day I would. By the way, that cover right there, that was on that was on the cover of the Tampa Tribune. There's my Hurricane. And by the way, you see the thing behind me? Big Sils? You guys gave me that when I was at Hooters ordering clams. You guys gave me that shirt. I hung that up. I really like that. And of course, Xander gave me the big Jerome Brown one. That helmet is brutal. Hey, Dak's having a great year. He's having an MVP season. Cowboys are 2-2-1. They're a game and a half back of the NFC East. Oh, by the way, Commanders, they're a game back too. How you doing? How you doing? Sils love Hooters. I do, boy. Bigger the wings, the better. How you doing? Absolutely. Bigger the wings, the better, my friends. All right. Let's see here. All right. Yes. 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 We'll do it now. All right. Well, man, hold on. Let me get a sip. What happened? What happened to old Nick, man? A.J. Brown. By the way, Jalen Hurts and A.J., those dudes are not on the same page. As a matter of fact, ever since A.J. and Saquon Barkley started teaming up, Jalen Hurts has got a new lover. And you know what happens when you have a new Gumad. And when you get a new Gumad, what happens? The original Gumad gets a little upset. So you got a little lover's quarrel going on here now with the Eagles. And guess what happened? The marriage counselors, Nick Sirianni and Bobo Patullo, can't figure it out. Holy shit, was that thing crazy yesterday. I could not believe Barkley had one fucking carry. I still can't get over this. The man, the myth, the legend. I cannot wait for this. Now, some of you called him something that I completely disagree with. I think every single person on this network, there's no ass kissers on this bitch. Okay? We used to have ass kissers on this bitch. We don't any longer. There was one dude that used to roll around telling and talking shit to people and then telling me to my face we're all good. I'm not going to name any names or anything. We'll keep it there, but without further ado, my man, the co-host of Birds 365, who said that this was going to be one of the biggest fucking blowouts of the year for the Birds. My boy, Big Z, Xander Kraus.
Oh, you had to remind me of my brutal pregame show take that I switched to a blowout. I don't know why I did that. Yeah.
Bro, because I said it to you in the postgame show. If you told me of all the teams that were going to beat the Eagles, the Broncos might have been the last team on the list that they would have beaten that football team. I mean, look, they're good. I'm not suggesting that they're not a good team. They may get 3 teams out of that AFC West too, Xander, to go to the playoffs this year, right? Yeah. Chiefs, Chargers, and the Broncos. But all right, dude, 24 hours.
Chargers are on the watch right now. I gotta be honest.
I think a lot of people are on the watch right now.
Yeah, no, they are. All right, so this is my first thought. I rewatched the game just now before coming on today. And is it fair to say that maybe we're all overreacting a little bit? Like, we lost the game. Is there some big grandiose problem about this football team, or did we just lose a football game?
Okay.
Like the Bills lost the game last night. Everybody in the NFL loses football game. We lost a week 5 game versus a team that has a good defense, good offensive line, good defensive line, a solid young quarterback, and a great head coach. We lost the football game. I get it. It's how we lost. I'm not sitting here and telling you we don't have things to correct. I do believe we have things to correct, but I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, by the way. I'm 100% guilty of this. Sometimes I think we look for this big, overarching, grandiose problem that I don't think it exists yet. I really don't. We got a lot of things to fix. There's no doubt about it. And offensively, a lot of them fall there. But
how do you think they played in 20 quarters?
C football. But again, I think they've showed flashes of things that have promise. Doesn't mean they're going to realize it. I think defensively, you've seen promise with Jahad Campbell and Makuba. I think Cooper and Quinion have been a pleasant surprise in year 2. Zach Bond still looks like the guy. Defensive line, interior looks okay, and Jalen Carter's hurt. If he can get back healthy, are you looking at a better chance there? Offensively, they just haven't figured it out yet. They don't know what the identity is yet. I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive.
You knew that in 5 weeks last year.
No, you didn't. After the
bye, their identity was beginning to be set because that's how they ended up going on and winning games.
They beat the Browns.
Knew they couldn't throw the ball to win anymore.
They beat the Browns 20-16, if I'm not mistaken, and Nick Sirianni was lashing out at fans in the sideline. I agree when you look back at the season, that was the differential point. But at this point, last year at this time, there's no way we thought they found their identity after that game. They barely squeaked by the Browns.
As soon as they went into that bye and those players said, we have to run the ball, that's our identity. Mulata and Lane said that. Jalen said it was the most productive bye week he had ever been on was because they were able to figure out this is the way
we're going to find our identity in week 5 last year.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley had 18 carries for 47
Well, it turned out to be true. They did because they went on and won that way.
Right. 18 carries for 47 yards in the game after the bye week though last year. That's a wrong narrative that they corrected.
Okay, so wait a minute. So when did they find out?
Week 6, week 7, it started to take place. Do the Eagles have to get to that point? Absolutely.
They changed their identity after the bye. They stopped running it.
They did. It didn't work in week 5, though, to my point. Didn't work.
But they changed their philosophy after that, Xander. I mean, they completely changed it. And they stuck with it the rest of the way out.
Well, again, I'm not up here to say we don't have problems. I'm just up here to say, have we so quickly gone to the conclusion that we're a shitty organization? We're not a shitty organization. We lost one football game. I get it. It sucks to lose, and we're not used to it in Philly. We lost one game.
Do you think that fourth quarter is going to be a precursor to things to come if you can't figure out 3 and outs and you can't figure out your run game? He gave up 160 yards in the fourth quarter to 22 and 18 points. And I'll say this to you. The Denver Broncos are not a high-powered offense. That's not a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
They were like 25th in offense coming into the game.
I'll tell you what, I want to give you credit for something. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is more obvious than people think, but not everybody says it, and Sileo did, so I'm going to give him credit for it. If you listen to Sean Payton after the game yesterday, Sean Payton told you exactly what the Broncos' plan was for the game. And it is precisely, literally exactly what you said their plan would be in the game. Keep it low scoring and get to the fourth quarter. That is exactly what Sean Payton said they wanted to do. So I did want to give you credit for that one. They wanted to keep it low scoring. They did, and look what ended up happening. By the way, Sean Payton, I haven't been the biggest fan of him in his career. I know he's a good coach. Not my favorite.
I've wobbled on him too.
Okay, that was a masterclass yesterday.
Yeah.
He in that fourth quarter, the way he coached that football game with those 3 drives at the end of the game, going for the 2-point
How about
conversion.
the conviction on the 2-pointer? He knew exactly where he was going.
I don't think Keely Ringo is top 3 of our priority list right now in terms of concerns. But you got to know. I mean, I feel like everybody should have known that was a 2-yard out right there, dude. What else are they doing? They had one guy, boom, they buckled him out to the flat. Keely Ringo, I'm like, fuck Ringo. But overall, I didn't think Ringo was that bad. I mean, let's be real. Quinion got beat more than Ringo did yesterday. Yeah. Now, I know Quinion had some close.
Did you know Sutton was that good?
Sutton, I didn't think he was that good. I mean, look, the thing I think optimistically to take from Quinyon is that he was all over the receiver. Cortland just won the battles. He's 6'4". Quinyon's what, 6 foot? He won those battles. I will say there was a couple more times, though, that Sutton beat Quinyon that he didn't catch it. Like, if you remember the very first drive of the game, on the very first Broncos third down, they took a shot play down the sideline to Sutton, and it went right through Sutton's hands. And Sutton went like this after the game. He should have had that. He beat Quinyon there. So he definitely got the better of Quinyon in the game. But, I just thought Sean Payton called a masterful game at the end. And look, your defense.
I thought Surtain got AJ too.
The other thing too that stuck out, and I'm not even saying this to complain about the officiating. I'm actually saying it to complain about the discipline of the football team. The costly penalties that we had yesterday in the second half.
Timely situations.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not about how many penalties you get or how many yards. It's all about the situations. That 4th and 4 completion of Devontae Smith, that penalty on Saquon, that made us punt right there. That was a game-changing play.
The overruling of not out of the zone there when the guy threw the ball away, I thought it was grounding.
Yep.
They picked that up. They went on the floor.
The RPO, too, on Tyler Steen there, that was a second down. They threw a screen pass to Devontae Smith and got a first down, got past the 45-yard line. Then that 5-yard penalty takes you back, and that was the drive they had a punt on. So, boom, if you don't have that penalty, you're looking at a completely different offensive drive. So, the Eagles really had some unfortunate timed penalties yesterday. That Zach Bond penalty, look, I didn't think it was a penalty, but I said this morning, I'm going to be honest with everybody, when I was watching the game in real time before I saw the flag, I remember going like this, fuck, because I saw Bond come in a second late. Now, I don't think they should have threw it, but they did. I can't really sit here and say it was that egregious. So, really timely penalties yesterday. And look, the offense is too inconsistent. It's still too inconsistent. They had four straight drives, 3 straight 3-and-outs. Their 4 drives equaled 3 yards total. And that was the exact time that the Denver offense finally was able to get going. They had a touchdown. They had a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And then they had the field goal to put them up by 4. Like, that was the game right there in that end of third quarter, fourth quarter that the Eagles lost. So a couple things go different. I think you win this game, and I don't think we're looking at a big grandiose problem. We lost the game. It sucks, but I think there's some overreaction happening.
Why do you think that they struggle at not wanting to do max protection and getting everybody out when you got a guy who takes a ton of sacks? I mean, why not have some max protection stuff to give Jalen the ability to be able to throw the ball more? And I thought something else that hampered him. How many times did Vance Joseph line up 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, and then he would drop guys off? And I thought it confused them, and I thought it confused the offensive line where that was setting protections. I mean, there were a lot of things they did in that game to confuse Hurts in that game in the offense. I think Petula's involved in that. I think Hurts is involved in that. I think the routes – by the way, the route trees are go routes. Do you do anything other than a go route?
Dude, they literally don't give AJ any other routes than the same 3 routes over and over again on different spots in the field. Routes. I agree 100%. So I don't know what the deal is. By the way, real quick, some news that we have to give to people right now. Remember, we played Thursday, so the Eagles did put out an injury report, and something you were talking about on this show today. Saquon Barkley popped up on DNP. Now, to be clear, the Eagles did not practice today. It's an estimation, but they have to put it out because of the Thursday game. But they listed Saquon with a knee injury and did not practice. Same with Landon with an ankle, and Grant Calcaterra with an oblique did not practice.
That was that game from the Buck game.
Huh?
Remember that game where he got it twisted
up?
Where
was it yesterday? You remember when he got banged up in that game yesterday, in that play yesterday? Then
remember
he
when he got twisted in that Buck game, though? He got twisted up in that Buck game.
He's taking some injuries. He's taking some hits. I wonder if that played in. By the way, one other thing too, because I was critical of this, but something clearly evident on the second half when you look at the running game. And again, this is not an excuse. They should have ran the ball more regardless of this. But there's 3 moments in the second half where the Eagles called a run play on first down. Okay? 3 moments on top of what they ran. All 3 of them were flagged, called back, and then they had to start behind the line of sticks with 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15, whatever it was in the situation. And then once you have longer behind the sticks, that's when they started passing. There was 3 instances, though, where Saquon Barkley got the ball, had a run, and then it was taken off because of a flag. So again, it's not an overwhelming, hey, it was fine. It's not an excuse, but they did try and run the ball a couple times, and they only had 5 drives in the second half. 3 of those drives were 3 and outs, and 3 of the first downs that they had, of the 6 or 7 total first downs that they had, they tried to run and they took a flag on it.
Yeah, but Barkley's a different style runner.
I agree. You got to
Because
keep giving up
Barkley is going to be a back. This is where I disagree with John. John goes like this. Well, take away that 13 or take away an 18-yard run or take – well, wait a minute. Barkley's game is this: 1, 2, -1, 2, 3, 18, 38 yards, 2, 1. He's a big hitter guy.
Yeah.
You keep giving the ball to him because he's going to break one of those off. He's not this, Xander, like Emmett, 8, 9, 6, 5. You look up, it's 28 carries and 150 yards. That's not who Barkley is.
Yeah.
Barkley's a big hitter guy.
I just wonder, I mean, look, if we couple in the thought process that maybe he was a little banged up in the knee from the Bucs game, then he took that hard hit early in week 1. Landon Dickerson was out of the game. The offensive line wasn't blocking or looking really good in that game at all yesterday. You know, add in the penalties, add in the circumstantial plays, add in the ineptitude of moving the football in that second half. Like, yeah, they ended up with one run in the second half. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I don't know if it's all as clear cut as they should have done this, you know, that simply. They didn't have a lot of opportunities. They didn't because they didn't move the ball. And then the moments that they did take and run it with them, you know, they took flags. And then on top of that, the offensive line was injured. And Saquon might have been hurt a little bit. Like, add in all of that, and you have the recipe that is one run in the second half. Again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, looking back at the game, and I rewatched it, a couple of those things came really clear to me where you're just like, all right, some of that is circumstantial, you know?
How do you think they're not going to get healthier, dude.
I know.
It's the NFL.
Dude, Landon Dickerson should not play on Thursday night.
No. You're going to put that guy out there on a short work week when he's been limping around and left the game? I guarantee you, Xander, he don't play. Want to bet?
He shouldn't play, but I got another guarantee for you. And this is why I came on and said, I think we're overreacting. We have a really good chance to have, let's say, 6 takeaways in the next 3 games. You got 2 versus Jackson Dart and 1 versus Carson Wentz. You're good for 1 takeaway on Carson at least. Dart threw 2 interceptions yesterday. I'm thinking you can get one on him, a rookie quarterback against Vic Fangio. You could be 7-1. Like, in 3 weeks, we're going to be like, all right, we're 7-1. What do we got to assess at the bye week?
Okay.
Let's pump the brakes. We lost the football game to a formidable team with a good coach. All right? Not great.
I don't think it's about 60 minutes. I'm not looking at this as 60.
You're looking at the whole offense so far.
Yeah, you're looking at it with 4 quarters. That's not how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. You haven't played a full football game in 5 weeks. You mean you're injured over 5 weeks?
Yeah, I got you.
The wide receiver and the quarterback, how do you think that relationship is?
It's not good, but I really don't give a shit, man.
Somebody does.
Good, but I'm not. I'm one.
AJ cares.
Well, I care because it's affected the field now.
That's right.
Seemingly, I don't care about them.
I don't care about him either.
Right, but I'll say this. You know, I was talking to my pop about this today because John said something on the morning show today. He said Jalen Hurts is Carson Wentz without the religion, and what he meant was that Carson alienated people in the locker room because he was so devout in his certain beliefs that anybody who didn't share those beliefs maybe didn't get along with him or wasn't in the circle.
Tebow-ish.
Right, exactly. Tebow-ish. And that's obviously not a good thing to do when you have a locker room full of people.
That's right.
But I was thinking about that comment, and I'm like, so what's he mean by Jalen? Because if you're saying that and he's somewhat off-putting or aloof was the word John used to certain players, why is that? Is it simply because of the personality? Is it because he's calm or he's not vocal? Like, what is the reason that he would come off as aloof to people? And then part of me, my pop said to me this. He said, now, you don't have to agree with me, Xander, but I think it's because they're not on his level mentally. A.J. Brown is more focused on the small stat sheet, the different things that make up a game, the things that Jalen Hurts is focused on winning. And he's had that mindset and that mentality, and he operates up here when it comes to comparing himself.
Well, that's flawed.
Why?
Okay. Do you think that Tom Brady working with a murderer, you think that Tom Brady was better than a murderer on his team? Do you think Tom Brady was better than a psycho in Antonio Brown?
Yeah, but did everybody like to play with Tom?
I've never heard anybody ever say anything negative about
that
Tom
wasn't
Brady.
my question. The people who played with him,
Yeah, because they won with him.
But did certain guys not make it with Tom because he held?
I'm going to tell you why he was the best teammate in the history of the NFL. When he showed up in Tampa, he went to Jason Light, and Jason Light told me he got the emails, the cell phones of all 90 guys that were going to training camp with him with the Bucs. And I asked Jason, why did Tom tell him that? He goes, because every time I get in someone's ass and I have to have a conversation with someone, I want them to know that it's coming from a place of constructive and not destructive. I want a relationship with every guy on my team, albeit some are going to be more, some are going to be less. I need to know the personalities on my football team. Do you know that Aaron Hernandez's locker was right next to Tom Brady? You know why? They had to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, right.
And he kept an eye on him. I think it's a quarterback's responsibility to embrace every personality like it is for a coach on a team to maximize the best. If you've got to stroke AJ for the betterment of the team, I think that's a quarterback's responsibility is to kiss his ass. I do, because in the end, it benefits us all.
But maybe
you're the face of the team, dude.
Yeah,
if you're telling me I'm better than him, and he's over here with a different mentality, no wonder A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Barkley were all
right.
saying,
You got to lift him up.
I've got my guys back.
Right.
But I didn't hear them say anything about Jalen Hurts. They mentioned A.J. I mean, bro, you got to embrace your teammates.
So he's got to help bring them up. I get it.
He's got to help bring them together.
Yeah, I get it.
He doesn't have to like them, Xander. He's got to make them perform together. That's his responsibility. You're the face of the – how many times do you tell me he's the face of the team? And he's a politician now. Politicians also mean in the locker room, not just upstairs kissing your boss's asses. I mean, dude, to me, this thing looks divided a bit. It's not T.O.-ish. I don't believe that. How about this? So I know that I could tell when you were talking to John today about that half-ass, lame-ass route that AJ, John's coming up with fucking sunspots. I mean,
no, he said he didn't track the ball. Wait, I want to
read the ball, Xander.
I want to read something to you that you were going to love. Wait, I want to read something to you that you are going to have to tip your cap to on a guy that you don't tip your cap to often. All right. I want to give, for somebody that's as fine as trolling as yourself, Mr. Big Sils, I want to give an award out today for the finest troll in Philadelphia. Okay. And that award goes to the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. This was his response today to the Eagles' the missed deep ball between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, where it looked like A.J. Brown pulled up. Sirianni credited the Broncos for the missed deep connection between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. I said Sirianni is trolling us. He is trolling you so bad, saying, I don't give a fuck what any of you think. That's how I don't care what your perception is. I don't care what you think happened. I don't care what you think I know. I am not even giving you the benefit of answering the obvious.
Jesus criminy. What a company
troll,
guy.
Dude. He's a troll. Nick is a troll, and he's really good at it.
Do you blame that loss on A.J. Brown?
No. Blame the loss on A.J. Brown. How the fuck are you going to blame the loss on A.J. Brown?
Hey, come on here, guy. Just ask good questions here.
I think, look, only to legitimate idiots. Do you
Well, they
have to-
appeased them and they threw the ball and took an L.
Yeah, but nobody asked for this. Only to legitimate idiots do you have to explain that when you call for a more passing game, you're not calling for 38 passes to 6 Saquon runs.
Oh.
Again, you got to be a moron to expect that's what we meant. Or
I
anybody.
like the first half.
That's what I mean. Nobody meant that, man. Nobody meant come out and throw the ball and never run it again. Nobody said that. Nobody wanted that.
No.
All right. It's an insult to our intelligence to assume that they wanted that. Do I feel as though I'm writing an article, Sils, right now for JAKIBsports.com. And the title of my article, you ready? I'll give you guys a glimpse. It's not ready yet. I was working on it before the show today. It's titled, I wanted the Eagles to pass more. Now they lost. Do I have egg on my face? So I'm writing about it, and I get it. We've all called for it, and now we lose the football game.
But I think we were calling for balance. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. And I wrote about it. I wrote about, look, we called for balance. We didn't call for this. But, maybe it does, though, highlight that there should be no emphasis put on statistics.
Okay, well, I'm going to now ask you this question one more time. Do you think the quarterback is capable of being a consistent quarterback running a balanced offense? Because I haven't seen one in a year and 5 weeks.
It's been a little bit now. I mean, they didn't really ask him to do it since 23, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had DeAndre Swift in 23. Yeah. So
he
they
threw
were
for 39. He threw for 3,900 yards that year.
I do. I mean, and I do believe he's capable, but I don't think it's unfair for you as an outsider per se, not as a fan, to say, well, they don't trust the quarterback because they're not letting them do it. So I think that's a fair question for you to ask. My personal opinion is that Jalen's certainly capable of it, but I think they're teetering on the extremes both ways.
Well, if
they got to get off that.
Then why don't they do it? They don't trust him.
Again, I said I'm not mad at you for asking the question. It's a plausible question, but I think Hurts is capable of doing it.
But
I don't know why they don't want
to. I don't think they think he is, or they would do it. I mean,
what you make
sit here and tell me
the AJ route?
I'll tell you exactly what I was just going to ask you the question. I don't believe A.J. Brown trusts Jalen Hurts' arm, and I don't believe Jalen Hurts trusts A.J. Brown in a route anymore. And I think that's where you have the problem. There's a disconnect in between. It's not about tracking. And if John is going to go with tracking, that's because he doesn't believe in his arm and his accuracy. Because that's why he stopped. He doesn't believe in the quarterback throwing the ball to him. And the quarterback doesn't believe in throwing the ball to him. And that's why, look at the targets, dude. Look at the receptions. He's 61st right now. Or 58 in receptions right now in the NFL. Is that by design? He's going to Barkley more now than he's going to A.J. Brown. Is he not? What did Barkley have in the game? 3 catches? And what did he have? 5?
He had the big catch, remember.
Okay.
Barkley had 3 catches for 58 yards.
And what did AJ have?
5 catches for 43 on 8 targets.
Okay. And Goddard too had some targets in
Goddard
there.
had three catches for 19 yards on 9 targets.
And a touchdown.
I think it was a 2-yard touchdown, right?
And Devontae, who doesn't bitch at all, had the majority of the
Devontae had something to say on Friday.
He
had
did?
8 catches for 114 on 10 targets.
Looks like to me the odd guy out's AJ.
What do you mean? AJ got 8 targets.
I know. And look at the yards.
43. Goddard had 19.
Goddard's never really been a target of the offense, though.
I just don't think AJ's the odd guy out. I mean, he went to Devontae a lot yesterday. I will say this. I think Jalen looks more comfortable throwing to Devontae now than he does look throwing to AJ. And it used to not look like that. It used to be AJ and Jalen could connect. Remember when AJ had those 2 1,500-yard years, though, in a row? Him and Jalen were hooked up, man. They were connecting a lot.
How do you think A.J. Brown's been in the first 5 weeks, the first 20 quarters of this year? How do you think he's been implemented in the offense?
A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
Well, clearly not successful. He's probably on pace for his lowest statistical output of his career.
Yeah, he's going to have 600 yards this year.
Please, no. Right now, he's got 19 receptions for 194 yards through 5 football games.
Which is on pace for 600 yards receiving.
Is that how bad it is?
Yeah. 600 yards. And, okay, I mean,
he was getting blanketed yesterday by one of the best corners in football.
Wait a minute. Okay, so A.J. Brown against Patrick Surtain.
Dude, that guy hasn't given up more than 75 yards in 30 fucking games.
I don't ever remember having a conversation where A.J. Brown can't get open.
I know. You're right. I've moved the goalpost.
I don't ever remember this conversation.
I'm going Sils on you and moving the goalpost.
You think he's lost a step?
You know what, dude? I don't. I think he's.
I'm with you. Howard brought that up last week.
I think he's disheartened. I think he's discouraged, and I think he's a little bit out. And I'll say, as an Eagle fan, you can't have that mentality with a C on your chest. Whether you're right or not doesn't fucking matter. You can never wear that to the tune that you have. But I don't think. I don't know. John brought it up, and John last week, and he's like, I don't know if he's happy here. You know, and that's that route. Like everyone's talking about that route, and I'm like. I think he's just dejected because he never thought he was getting the football. By the way, real quick, just to add context.
But by the way, 660 yards on 65 receptions. He's on pace for right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. AJ just doesn't look all that happy to me. I think he was completely dejected, and I don't think he was getting that ball. And by the way, let me just add the context. While we're out here schooling folks, okay, for all the film wonks and the people out there who say go watch the game again and all these different things, go watch the all 22 of that play because yes, AJ pulled up and should have ran through it. There's no doubt. All right, I agree 100%. But go rewatch it one more time. Jalen hitched. He pump faked, and it wasn't really an intentional pump fake. He double clutched the ball. And waited an extra second, and that's a timing route, right there. So, for whatever reason, I think AJ thought the ball wasn't coming out because when he looked back, I don't know if that thing was up in the air yet. Go rewatch the camera angle behind the quarterback on the all-22. Jalen hitches, and then he throws it. And I think that was the moment that messed up AJ Brown. Now, again, he should have ran through the route. I'm just saying, I think that coupled with his previous anger and concerns are bundled up, and he's starting to give up on routes, which is unbecoming of a captain and a leader.
Okay, let me throw this at you here. The Eagles snapped the ball with 5 or fewer seconds on the play clock, quarters 1 through 3, only and excluded no huddle plays against Denver at a higher than any team in the NFL in the last 3 seasons. And it wasn't even an outlier for them. 4 of their 5 games have been similar. They are snapping the ball with less than 5 seconds every single time that they go through a sequence when they get to the line of scrimmage. Do you know what that means? When they're flooding the gate, that's why they're bringing 9 guys to the line of scrimmage. Hurts doesn't know where the pressure's coming from.
Yeah.
That's why he's taking 6 sacks. He's taking a ton of sacks. And they know they're not getting to play in. So I'll ask you, where's the responsibility and how much do you put on Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni in this when it comes to the offense's flow, in-game situational play calling?
It's got to be all 3, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but it has to be.
Hurts too.
Has to be. If you're telling me that, okay, here's what I don't like. And I'm not a person that's up here saying, oh, so get Jalen Hurts. I'm not an Jalen Hurts hater. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I don't think we lost the game because of Jalen Hurts. Do I think he's perfect? No, I don't think anybody's perfect. All right. If you're going to sit here and tell me and give credit to Jalen when they check into the Saquon Barkley wheel route, and he makes a beautiful throw to Saquon and has a 47-yard touchdown pass, beautiful. If he has the autonomy at the line of scrimmage to make that call, then why are you putting all the blame off of him when it comes to all the other plays in the game? He either has say at the line of scrimmage or he doesn't. And if he does, then he's equally involved with Nick and Kellen, or Kevin. You got me calling him Kellen. And Kevin, or he's not. And they're telling him what to do. I think it's the former. I think Jalen's involved. I don't think it's, again, I'm not scathing him. I'm not crucifying him. But I think he's a part of it. They got to work on it. I don't think he's limited. I just think they got to work on getting that play in faster, man. Get him to the line of scrimmage and give him more of a chance.
Why would there be a problem getting the play in?
I don't know where that problem's coming from. I really don't. Is it too much communication? Is there too much? Does Nick have to approve plays before they get to the quarterback?
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Is that what it is? Why is it not getting to Jalen? Because
those route concepts are not telling me that you're sending in some sort of food salad play that the quarterback has to sit there and go through 2 minutes of a John Gruden play call. That's not what I'm getting.
Here's my opinion.
Gotta be there's too many cooks in the kitchen going over what is the run coordinator involved? Is Kevin involved? Is Nick involved?
But think about it, though. Like, if this is what it is, Prince says Nick to Kevin to Jim. Like, Prince, I'm sure you're probably kidding, and I honestly I hope you are, because I hope I'm kidding. I hope we're wrong about this, to be blunt with you guys. But think about that. If that's actually even in the realm of the truth, you will have this problem forever. They will never get the play in on time.
That's right.
You got 40 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm of the opinion, the offensive coordinator, which I know they all do based on the way it's been explained to me, they all have their plays for their different moments in the game, different circumstances, third and short, third and long, second and short, all the different plays. Get the play in immediately to Jalen Hurts. We don't need to overthink it, and let Jalen manage the line of scrimmage. If Jalen sees something he doesn't like, he has the autonomy to check out of it. If he wants to call a hot route, check into that. If he wants to send Devontae or AJ on a go route, that's what I think it should be. And that should be the aspiration. I don't know if they're trying to do that or if they're not.
Okay. Do you know when you put a game plan together on a Saturday night, your first 25 are scripted?
First 15, right?
15?
Is that what it is?
I know Walsh had 25 plays. Bill Walsh did his first 25 plays that he would have scripted on what he wanted to call. That kind of looked like it yesterday. They had a scripted idea of what they wanted to do in the first half, and when they have to go off script, thing fell apart. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They got away from running the ball. They got away from preparation. They got away from doing anything that got them that lead. Xander, nobody has been able to tell me, why did you stop running the ball? You had the lead.
I know.
One carry for Barkley?
Dude, we had the lead until like 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I don't get this.
But again, this is where I do like. There was less opportunities than we think. There was 10 to 3.
The 3 and outs killed them.
It was 10-3 at half, and then they came out and scored on the first drive, and then they had the penalties that stopped them with the run plays. Then they had the 3 and out, so they only had a couple first down opportunities. They were behind the sticks because of the penalties. They lost it on the fourth down because of the Saquon penalty. So there was a couple circumstantial things that took it away, but you're right. I mean, I don't know how the hell you're up 17-3 in a ball game and your running back's not toting the rock. It just doesn't make sense.
You think Kevin Patullo's unqualified to be the coordinator?
Yeah, what's that change if I say yes? I don't know. This was a conversation for, March, or whenever the hell
we had it. We had it in March. I kept telling everyone. I'm going.
I know we did. I was on my Super Bowl high. Cut me some slack, motherfucker.
Dude. Hold on, Xander. You get the benefit when you win the Super Bowl of that.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
I just don't get why you would hire.
You're not wrong.
I don't get why you hire a guy who's never done it.
That's what I didn't get. But
remember, you got to add context there too. Kellen left at the very last second. Who was available?
Less available candidates.
There was not many available. Remember, all the big ones were already hired at that point.
That's right.
So, you have to add that in. Maybe it was the best decision in that moment. Maybe they're cheap, like Sig Lord says. Maybe Nick Sirianni wanted him, and they gave him the autonomy, as Angelo alluded to, after he won a Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but in no world does it make sense to have a well-oiled machine as successful as
Do
it's
you
been.
think Frank was the number one go-to, and what happened with Frank getting that job at
No,
Stanford?
I don't.
He's making $6 million there now.
Yeah, and
He
I
ain't
don't
gonna make $6 million with the Eagles being a coordinator.
I don't because I don't know how much. I don't want to speak out of line here because I'm sure they honestly love Frank Reich, but the organization is weird about going back into old paths. Like they almost like it's kind of a hit to their ego.
I actually haven't seen them hire anybody back from another regime.
Oh, well, they hired back Joe Douglas recently.
Yeah, but I'm talking coaching.
Coaching, they haven't. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
So it's like, I don't know if that was part of it where it's like.
Is anybody outside of Scotland?
Like, was Frank associated with the Doug era so much that his name would have been brought up so much that the Eagles were just like, nah.
But remember, Doug didn't hire him.
Yeah, but he was still associated with Doug because they won the Super Bowl together, you know?
Okay. No. Remember where he came from, though.
By the way, I cannot wait for Doug Peterson to be on here tomorrow. What a great get by you. Well done, Sils.
Got the email, got everything set
up. I saw him. He sent me a text today. I'm excited.
Wait a minute. I'm going to ask him, and I'll ask you. Angelo asked me to ask this question. I'll ask it. I got to figure out a nicer way to do it than how Angelo would.
Yeah, be careful. I don't want you to bombard. You know what I mean? I don't need to tell you how.
I want him on here more than once.
Yeah, okay? I got you. That's what I mean.
But the context of the question is, why do you think
I don't want Doug getting off and being like, holy fuck, what the fuck was that?
No shit. You know? Those guys were right about this guy. I don't want that. How about this? Angelo goes like this. Why do you think they allowed Nick to hire from within and they wouldn't allow Doug to hire and keep Press Taylor? Why do you think they did that? He won a Super Bowl and they didn't want Doug to keep Press Taylor and his own people, but they allowed Nick to do it. Why do you think the change in philosophy?
Do they trust Doug less? Were they less sure of themselves at that point? Were they more fragile about, winning their first Super Bowl? I don't know.
Were they in a power struggle with him?
Maybe. I think Angelo said it simply that Doug is certainly not. He's just by default not as much of a yes man. He's not. He probably was right that he thought, hey, the owner and the GM are great and all, but like they don't know how to coach a football team like I do. And he's probably right about that. But Nick has placated to them. He's let them involved in the process, and he gives them their feel goods, and he lets Howie.
My wife asked me. She goes, "Would you do that?" And I go, "For $16 million, fuck yeah, I'm doing that."
That's right. I get it.
And by the win percentage.
You better start saying that about Jalen when you call him a company man. He's making $53 million. You're damn right. He's a company man. AJ Brown ain't signing his check.
So you think I think Jalen's alienating people on his team doing that, though.
Yeah, I think it's happening both ways, though.
Hey, I asked this question. I'll ask you. Do you think that the
real quick, before you go to that, sorry. But on that point, is Jalen alienating people, but is he alienating the wrong? Like, I remember last year when Brandon Graham said very clearly, one is trying. And that's a veteran who's been here for 15 years, who's been here for multiple Super Bowls, multiple head coaches, multiple general managers, multiple regimes. Lane Johnson speaks glowingly about Jalen Hurts. Jason Kelsey, the same thing. All the veterans speak highly on Jalen Hurts. So are we alienating? If we are, let's just assume you're right.
So you're giving Jalen the benefit, though.
Are we so sure that Jalen's in the wrong?
So wait a minute.
I don't know, man.
You're assuming that Jalen's the one that's trying.
I'm assuming that Jalen Hurts has.
Because I heard AJ say when you're saying something and no one listens. I mean, bro, this relationship has become a problem for the two. And I think that route was exactly that. It wasn't about him quitting. I think it had more to do with him not trusting. And I think both guys don't trust one another right now in the offense.
But
I don't think it's about loafing.
Who's in the better spot? Who's more right from a macro perspective about bringing championship mentality and caliber into the organization?
Jalen's in the right until you pull a bullshit thing like you did yesterday by knowing full well if you throw the football and people get their numbers and you take an L by not sticking to what you did for 20-1, that's a bullshit way of trying to compromise AJ when you know in your heart, you go back on what your beliefs are then when you do that. You know running the ball, playing defense, moving the sticks is the right way. I saw you beat the Chiefs with 100 yards of offense, dude. Jesus criminy. You had over 280 yards passing, and you allowed a football team with 3 and outs to come back on you, and you didn't even have any turnovers. How'd you lose the game, Xander, when you're up 15 and you didn't have turnovers?
Yeah.
Jalen's compromising and throwing it. I mean, why, if he's so set in his ways, why didn't he just say, fuck it, let's just keep doing what we're doing? Why did you compromise?
Yeah, I get it. I don't know, man. I'm starting to, the more I'm sitting on this, and again, I was Team AJ for all week, but I'm wondering if there's some real egg on my face because I just don't know if this is as bad of a look on Jalen as people are trying to make it. I really don't.
You think
my pops said to me today, he's like, they're not on Jalen's level, man. Jalen is mentally mature beyond 99% of athletes, let alone his own team.
Okay, well, I think a quarterback has to relate to pretty much your entire huddle and your locker room.
Yeah, but you don't lower your standard and your messaging to meet
some people. You have to relate at least.
No.
I'm not talking about whoa.
You got to bring them up.
You don't sit there and think you're better than somebody in a locker room.
That's true. But
I mean, you got a guy walking around thinking I'm better than you.
Is there a tough love though that has to be like, dude, you got to elevate?
I don't think that guy's very assertive like that. He doesn't come off like that way to me. Brady does.
I don't know. I get you. It's I will say this.
You really think that you're better than somebody?
I'll say this. It's becoming a little bit exhausting. Like I don't know what to think of it anymore. At this point,
that was my next question.
I'm talking in circles. I don't know. Is it AJ? Is it Jalen? I don't know who the fuck's that.
How about this?
All I know is it's exhausting.
When are you done with this?
The better question is when Jeffrey Lurie done with this. But I think you're right that if we're feeling this, you got to wonder.
Oh, they are too.
Thinking. Exactly. You got to think the organization is as well. I think eventually, I don't know. I don't know when the breaking point comes.
Last year for him?
I'm not going to say that yet. This team hasn't proven they can win without him.
By the way, I want everyone to know this. If I had to rank my top 3, I'll go top 4. NFC teams as of October 6th. I would say Bucks, Rams, Lions, and Eagles. That loss didn't make me sway that you're not still the team. What it does, though, is that every one of those teams I just mentioned, they're all in the room with you, dude.
What'd you say? You said Bucks, Rams, Eagles?
I got Eagles, Lions, Lions, Rams, Bucks.
Yep. Good. I agree.
That's my NFC.
Bucks are good.
Bucks went up to Seattle.
Bucks are my playoff dark horse. Easily.
Watch this. Bucks went up to Seattle with 3 dudes out, no Bucky Irvin, no Mike Evans.
Yep.
And he goes up there with no turnovers and goes for 379 yards and
Baker
87 completion percentage. That Emeka Ibuka kid had 163 yards in reception yards. And they went up there with a makeshift team. And they won that football game, and they're 4-1. And I'll tell you, man, I mean, I think any one of those 4 teams could play in the NFC Championship game.
Baker has that legitimate championship DNA. I know people aren't going to want to hear
me. He's an MVP candidate right now.
People aren't going to want to hear me say this, but I don't give a shit. I always say what's on my mind. Part of me wants Baker to win one before he's done. Now, I know he's an NFC team and nobody wants to think about the Bucs winning a Super Bowl. I get it. But newsflash, everybody, we're not winning every Super Bowl for the next 10 years. If Baker plays another decade, I hope he gets one. I like Baker Mayfield, man. I like winners. I like the mentality. I like the approach. I like the shit talking, and then I like backing it up. I like Baker Mayfield, dude. I'm a Baker guy.
I am too. I get this, and I wasn't. I hated the kid. But I got to tell you, man, he's Brett Favre 2.0. He gives you every single emotion there is out there. And I really do. I just wonder how much damage this A.J. Brown stuff has done to the team and done to the relationships of others in the locker room.
Well, that's the only thing that really matters, right? It's not.
That's what I'm talking. I'm talking about the relationships on being able to work and row in the same direction. That's mine. Yeah, we're going to do the supers, Leon, here in a minute.
Like a Prince. Someone mute Xander. Prince, shut the fuck up, Prince, motherfucker.
He's such a bitch sometimes with his ways. He
is. Prince is mad at everybody right now because Prince, you know what I love about you? You're like John McMullen. You're 150% right. I asked John today.
150% right.
I said, John, is there any chance? I mean, even a 0.00, and I literally use this phrase, a 0.0001% chance that you are wrong. He said, no, there is 0% chance I am wrong. I said, John,
oh, my God.
Prince, you're the same way. You know, you think you're right.
Yeah, I got you, Prince. It's all good, brother. Let's get to these supers.
All right. Why is Leon crying? Beat Pupper! Jalen Jordan is alienating his teammates. I understand him. He wants to be like my GOAT.
Dude, you got to remember, Pump. He's an eccentric guy. He is. I don't think Jalen's a bad dude. I'm sorry, I don't. I just think he's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy, but that's all right.
Yeah, I'm all right with weird guy.
That's why I kind of think that Jalen has proven like he really does have that winner's mindset, whatever you want to talk about, the skill set. And I'm wondering if maybe other guys got to kind of elevate themselves to his level. I get you got to pull him up as a leader, but I don't know. Christopher says, odds AJ is here after the season. I say 50-50.
I'm going to go 60-40.
That he's here or not here?
Here.
All right. I'm going to go 70-30. I don't think they're going off him yet.
Because they're not going to want to eat the money, right?
I don't think it's about the money. I just don't think you get rid of good players in their prime. That's not what championship organizations really do. I guess some do. Belichick did it all the time.
How about if you traded him and you drafted a first-round draft choice wide receiver?
You sound like my boy Deshae. Deshae's been putting in the chat for months. I'm tired of AJ. Sell out and go get Jeremiah Smith. And then today he drops. He's an Ohio State fan. And I'm like, no, I know why you've been saying that for months, Deshae.
Dude, he's good. He's good.
Jeremiah Smith is next level. He's going to be. He's a. So
wait a minute. I got one for you. You trade AJ to New Orleans. New Orleans is going to be a shit team this year. They're in the top 4. You get their 4th pick, and you draft Jeremiah Smith with the 4th pick. Would you do that?
They're not going to trade that pick up for AJ.
All right.
Who do they got to throw in the football?
Spencer Rattler.
I think a better target would be like a Jags. Bring me Trayvon Walker in a 1.
I think the Jags have a chance to beat the Chiefs tonight.
You're not getting that much.
Hey, dude, I think the Jags have a chance to beat the Chiefs tonight.
That's what I mean, and they could use a pass catcher.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think they can.
Jags are good. They're 3-1, aren't they?
I know, man. I know. I mean,
and their defense has played lights out. Here's Brian Pump. 1K never open. Holy moly. Hey, by the way, get a load of Special Ed Reed Blankenship. That guy stinks.
Wow.
He hasn't been great.
Bro, 15 million? Hey, remember the question Big Sils kept asking? How do you think Reed's going to play with youngsters next to him? Well, I think it's been answered. Woo! Boy, is he really rough one.
Do you think this Eagles – what are the chances of this, Sils? Answer me a percent number. What are the chances that the Eagles organization throws a knuckleball on every single one of us, me, you, McMullen, and every single person in the chat, and the second AJ and Jalen are up they're both out of here. And we got Tanner and a young receiver, and they go Carson Wentz on us. They reset the regime, a new quarterback. Everybody on our
and they blow out Nick, and they get a new dude in.
You blow it all out. I don't know.
We're starting all over again.
I say to people all the time, and I'm not in there personally, but I hear crazy. I've heard stories for the last 5 years working in this business. People should not underestimate the arrogance of the Eagles organization.
Or any NFL organization.
Or any, but the Eagles in particular. They are a very that's what happened with Doug. We're gonna get him tomorrow.
3:30.
3 years after he won the first Super Bowl ever for the Eagles. The first Super Bowl ever for the Eagles. They got rid of his ass.
Doug Peterson, 3:30 tomorrow. We will have him right here on the program.
Here's Leon. Barkley has a knee injury. FML. John Clark posted. I saw it, Leon. Is that what you're rushing into the Super Chats for, Leon? We already talked about this, Leon.
You think it's serious?
I don't know. John did tweet out, by the way. You're right. McMullen tweeted that. McMullen tweeted. I'll read you exactly what McMullen tweeted because it goes in line with what you said. John said, I believe Barkley's injury dates back to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So you said that.
Yeah.
WCBJJ says, Did you see the clip of Hurts sprinting to the end zone? I saw that. Did you see this? He launched up a Hail Mary and sprints through the end zone. I was cracking up. I'm like, did he think a tip was coming? Like, I don't know what he thought. Maybe he wanted to be down there for the celly. I don't know what he was thinking.
Man, you think he was thinking he was going to catch it?
I don't know what he thought. He was running quickly, though.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I do think he wants to win big time. I
did see the clip.
I think he does.
I do, too. Dio says, where do you rank the Denver D-line? Giants, Browns, Baltimore. Baltimore looks terrible. In Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Denver, Rams. Denver had number 1 O-line with PFF.
Dude, that Rams D-line is pretty damn good, too. But I'll tell you what.
That Denver D-line's productive.
Dude,
they had 6 sacks yesterday. They were the first in the league in sacks coming into the game yesterday, and they had 6 yesterday. And they had a litany of pressures.
How about this? Those two ends, they took out Malata and Lane.
Well, no, Lane had got the better of Cooper.
You think?
Cooper didn't beat him.
How many times did Jalen Hurts break out of the pocket?
Jalen Hurts always breaks out right, dude.
He did?
He always breaks out to
the
right.
No. How many up the field?
Yeah, so he didn't beat Lane, but he set the edge,
Yeah. I didn't see Jalen making yards and first downs yesterday, and they kept the spy in. So, bro, you kept the spy in, they set the edge.
I don't know. Angelo said that. I didn't see a spy, dude. I don't think they were spying.
Well, then how come he couldn't get yards? I mean,
because their whole defensive
rushing attempts, he only had 15 yards in the game.
Hurts had 3 rushing yards.
Oh, he had 3 rushing yards.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get anything going and breaking out.
No, but I don't think it was because of a spy.
Okay.
Hurts had 2 carries for 3 yards.
Boy, somebody set the edge on them where he couldn't get out in the perimeter like he did the previous 4 games.
Philly
because
Bird,
he made yardage.
Am I okay? Do I look okay? The fuck? Worry about yourself, dude. Stiff. Here's Nate the God. Love you, dude. Nate the God says 2 plays cost us the game by high-paid, disciplined players. Late hit and an illegal shift. We win the game if it wasn't for those. Everyone lose games. You're right, Nate. Vaughn, Barkley. 2 guys that got a massive contract. Fucking play with some discipline.
Hey, man. How do you think your 2 D tackles are playing in there?
What's that?
How do you think your 2 D tackles are playing inside?
I think they played all right. I mean, I don't think Jalen Carter, I'll say this. I don't think he's playing bad.
They give up 135 yards rushing again.
He's not wrecking games at all.
No.
I think it's because of the shoulder, though.
Don't you think that this, when John says this, Vic will live with 5 yards of carry. Are you going to live with 5 yards of carry when you lead the NFL in 3 and outs?
Now, the 3 and outs thing is insane. And that would lead to play calling and coaching to me.
And player execution.
Yeah, player execution, but to a certain extent. But you lead the league.
Well, wait. Well, to your point, the way that they do this, hey, we're going to be a little balanced in the first half. In the second half, we're not going to have any balance at all.
This goofy-ass team. This team is goofy. I love them, but they're goofy. Holy shit, they're goofy. Kimberly says, I think AJ's mentally checked out. Kimberly was on the post-game show, so she was great.
She bring anything? Did she bring anything, Paisan? Did you? All right.
She brought the juice. I thought she had good takes on the game.
Okay, good. Well, look at her. She's a Paisan. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So you think they write that any issues against the Giants?
No, we're going to beat the brakes off them. We're going to be 7-1 going into the bye week. I'm not worried about this. They got to find their identity. The biggest problem today was the same problem after a win. The Eagles have to find their identity still. They have to figure out what they want to be this year, week in and week out, from an offensive perspective. Once they figure out what that is, they have to work every week to get better and maximize it, like they did last year. And then they need to play their best ball late in the year.
Gary Cobb just texted me and said, Barkley's injury is more severe than you think.
Uh-oh. I'll text John. How severe is Barkley? We got to find some coaches. That's funny. 7-1 before the bye. We're going to have 6 takeaways in the next 3 games.
If you lose Barkley for any extended period of time?
We might lose him. And I'm okay with that. All right, get healthy, Saquon. We need you late. We're going to have 6 takeaways in the next 3 games. This is my bold prediction to you all, and I'm making it on a Monday. We got 3 games. We got the Giants, the Vikings, and the Giants, and then we got a bye week. We're going to be 3-0. We're going to have 6 takeaways, and we're gonna go into the bye weeks at 7-1.
7-1 into the bye. Let me take a look at this.
Woo!
Yeah, you lose Barkley, you're going to drop some games, brother. Yeah, you lose Barkley, you're dropping games. Because that passing attack is brutal.
I'll tell you what.
Let me see here.
Brian, it's not Jackson Dart that I'm not a believer in. All right?
Okay.
It's that stinker Brian Daboll.
Okay.
Who was a Bama guy, but I just don't like him.
I have to agree with him here. Giants and then Minnesota and then Giants. After that, they've got Green Bay and Detroit.
Wait, why do you say we're going to lose if we don't have them? We haven't used them for the first 4 games, and we won 4 games straight.
You haven't used AJ either. You've won games because he's more of a decoy.
Oh, I know, man. Maybe they're both decoys. Maybe we need to joke ourselves and just get rid of all of Jalen's players. Oh, John.
I haven't taken
it. Right, but John texted me back on Saquon. He said not severe, expected to play.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'll make sure I tell Gary that. Do we got them all? Because I got to pay some bills here, dude.
Yeah, no, you do. Now, Nick had Jonathan Taylor in Indy. That's true.
He did.
That's like Phillip Rivers. So, I mean, not quite. All right, that's all of them.
Bro.
That's all of them.
Tomorrow, Doug Peterson.
I can't wait.
And then Howard, too, at 4:30.
I hope Doug knows that JAKIB Sports loves Doug Peterson.
Oh, we're going to make sure we tell him that.
I will never not love Doug Peterson. I don't give a shit who tries to get me to not like him. I love him. He's my favorite coach in Eagle history.
Oh, my God.
I'm a Doug Peterson super fan.
Man, every time you walk in a building, statue of Dougie out front there, baby. That's pretty dope, man. In Philadelphia, you got your own.
With the greatness of Nick Foles. By the way, we get an iconic matchup of Jalen Hurts versus Carson Wentz a little bit in a couple weeks. That's exciting.
That'll be a great storyline.
Carson Wentz playing good football right now. Look, they got a lot of injuries around him.
Is he 2-1?
True, he can still zip the football.
Yeah,
he's got an arm.
Hey, is he 2-1? Like since he's been the
starter? 2-1, right? Yeah, he's 2-1. I think.
Yeah, 2-1 there, man. All right, Big Z. We'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365.
All right, brother. Thank you, everybody. Hit that like button later.
Absolutely awesome. Don't forget, as we just said, Doug Peterson tomorrow. Let me pay some bills. Folks, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. They win. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast, making sure you and your family is so well represented when you have any issues if you've ever been hurt on the job. This will be the easiest decision that you ever make, is contacting Morgan & Morgan. They do their due diligence. They have their attorneys look at your cases. And again, The reason they are the number one injury law firm, not just in America, but on the planet, is because of what I just told you. Is because they win. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sils or pound law 529. That's FOR, thepeople.com/Big Sils or pound law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sils sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
KC at the Jags. Jacksonville's playing some really good ball. Kansas City has righted the ship, and it's in Jacksonville. 45.5. 3.5 Jacksonville's getting. Boy, I'd love to take the points in Jacksonville. I think that, I tell you what, Liam Cohn has done a nice job down there. Hard to bet against Mahomes, especially what's happened with the 1-4 Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs get it done. But that would not shock me if that game is super close. Travis Hunter really hasn't had an impact yet on that offense. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas City. All right. Great day. Guys, tomorrow, Doug Peterson will be with us at 3:30. Howard Eskin will be with us at 4:30. Xander will be with us as always. Make sure you check out Birds 365. Thank you very much. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Joe, Big Z, thank you. We'll see you on the flip side.